Good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning, and I'm trying to get myself set up here. Um, no, I didn't get my stimulus today. I didn't check to see if any pending status either, but I did, of course, get the bills ready to go out and my regular payments. My disability check came in, so I guess I'll just start with that. I downloaded Gotcha Live last night and Gotcha Club to see what the difference between each of them were. I I can see how Gotcha Life could be good for making comic strips. I don't know how to do animations on it though, but you can do. You can even choose to have a green screen background, and then you could import those into, say, Final Cut Pro, and then, or even into other software that lets you use green screens, and then you can turn them into other backgrounds. Huh? But then it gets a lot more complicated, I guess, if you're going to do that, right? Some people might do it. I think it'd be interesting to see what would happen if you do. I see I got a notification already. Only thing is, hey, where's my notifications? Oh, here we are. All right. This morning I just basically kind of got a little bit mad at Mike, I'll be honest. He dropped his grubby ashes all over my table again. I understand now where Patty's passive-aggressive nature came from. It's like, of course, he said, well, I'll take care of it. I said, you're going to wipe that table again. I said, you're wiping it this time. I'm not. He said, why do you use white vinegar to clean the house? I said, besides I like the smell, the fact of the matter is I can get it on food stamps. That's why. So the just getting everybody up here to speed. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, we're just getting everybody on the same page. So we have Stony says hello. Good morning. And Westy's here. Cat, do I have to have everybody like pile up on me at one time? I'm talking about the cat in particular. All right, I gotta fix the chroma key. I changed. Right now, that's another issue. Is the BNC connectors on this camera cable? I think I'm gonna have to go on with the type of called the compression fittings, because these crimp-ons are not cutting it for me. I mean, they're more expensive, the compression type, but yeah. And I might want to go with RG59 coax instead of RG6 fire hose, because the stuff is like really, really heavy and it's like hard to work with. And besides that, they don't make a Siamese cable with 3 cores, which I need 3 core. So I found my balance, so I could theoretically use some category 6 cable or 7 cable. And all right, Rusty, give me a minute to set up so I can get you on camera. Okay. Now you want to say that way? Fine. I can please you. So let's get this on camera. Oh, now he's going to show you his face. Oh, that's Rusty for you. All right, Rusty, could you? No, don't move the camera. Oh, now he flips around. Like I can really. Oh, first time in the morning, first time of the day. I haven't even paid all the bills yet. All right, so that's the next project. I got to get the rest of the bills paid. So there's Rusty for you. He insists on being on the camera every day. I don't know why. But then I can't read it. You can't read the chat, and I can't read the chat. So I gotta switch him out again. But yeah. Already I can tell it's starting to get spring because he's starting to shed. Soon it's gonna be itching time because of his cat hair. I'm kind of allergic to my cat hair, unfortunately. Fame's fur was worse, but Rusty's fur still makes me itch. It's like sticking your body in a vat of fiberglass. Hey, come on, don't get all hyper on me. Good looking cat. Yeah, he's a good cat. He's getting a little bit angry right now because I kind of basically, he knows I'm a little agitated. So where's the rest of the panel? Probably coming. It's still a little early. It's 10:03. I know, but you started a little early. Yeah, I did. Started a little early this morning. So anyway, I should check the IRS deck. They say the portal is worthless. Why check it? It's not even worth it because it's totally freaking messed up, and that's they're gonna start processing payments. It's still 9 in the morning. I don't think, or 10 in the morning. I don't know what payments they ran to the computer yet. Oh God. All right. Well, yeah. Okay. So why don't we do this real quick here? Let me go to, as much as I hate using the portal, I'll just go to it real quick here. www.irs.gov. All right. Let's see if this shows any good news. Because every time I check it, it never shows anything. They said Sunday. What? They said they're updating it on Sunday. Oh, for God's sakes, no. Why Sunday? I don't know. You can check it. Fine. Let me just check it real quick here. Get my payment tool. They said that they didn't get plan to have everything updated until Sunday. Well, I'm already in here, so we might as well check it. Yeah, okay. All right, enter my security code. So, the thing is, I don't like the way you have your social security number is blanked out and switched with stars. I never used to get my portal until this term. I usually just go ahead and still not available. Told you. Only stupid program. But then again, is my address format right? Is my address format wrong? Who knows? Let's go to my bank account. www.NW Community Bank. I'll just check with my bank and see what it says. If any pending transactions. The Gitmo portal tool is a joke. If you ever use it, it is just a total laughable joke. It doesn't make any sense. It never is accurate. People have said that they've gotten money when they were not, and they said no payment available, and they get the direct deposits and stuff. Anyway, so I'm gonna just check see if my bank shows any pending. Let's see. That's another screen. I gotta go to that. Let's see. Any new pending transactions? No, nothing. Nope. Nothing. Zip. Okay. Just got my direct deposits this morning from my regular benefits, but nothing for the EIP payments. Frustrating as hell. So let's go back to the chat here. Monica said, "Good morning, Todd. Taking care of some housework while I listen." Okay. When I get done with the show, I gotta take care of the rest of the bills. The stimulus check isn't yet pending in my checking account yet. But maybe by the end of the day or possibly by Monday, it'll be something in there, I hope. Because I need to get a lot of new things. I need a lot of little things. Money I've got to buy the little things right now. I got that money. But it still is absolutely vexing. The fact is, well, let me see one of the things I want to fix. And then Maybe I might be replacing these boxes anyway. This, I lost some of the rubber feet for this. This thing here has a loose connector on it. This is the video output or input connector that goes to the camera. These BNC cables have really, really kind of caused it to work loose the center conductor. I have to unscrew this thing and then resolder the wires or the PC board connection here, because this connector is basically as loose as my old molar was. Okay, I mean, geez, I'm going to have to fix that. Some solder. I'm thinking about buying some regular separate rosin core flux and try that idea of fixing things. Because these are the rubber feet to go on this. Yes. Oh. Let's see. Is it going in the right way? Yeah. Oh, okay. Cute rubber pieces. They're more decorative than anything. But basically, these rubber feet are supposed to prevent this thing from skidding. And theoretically, you can actually supposedly stack a couple of these on top of each other. The only thing is, I found out from experience is you can't have on the Macintosh, you can't run 2 or 3 of these things at the same time. You only can run it at once. So if you want to run 2 or 3 of these devices at once, even if you plug them into separate firewire ports, it can't run together. I think it's kind of stupid. This is old technology. This is from the days of the Power Mac G5s and stuff, and they work fine on the G5. But the modern Macs now, everybody's using USB 3.0 and USB 2.0. The camera that's in front of me is the USB 3.0 or 2.0 dongle. I have another one of these, but let me fix the video before I forget here. So like I said, I'm just okay. Oh no! Wait! What? You got it right. You got to go to filters. I know. All right, so let's see if I can get this chroma key to look a little better. It's a little bit off here. All right, so you're gonna set the smoothness. Just hit defaults right now. Oh, that's even worse. I know that. Okay. All right, 274. Okay, splash greens or spill reduction. 242. How much are you supposed to turn spill reduction up to? I don't really think there's any guidelines on that. I'm just gonna try just bring up to 100. 103. All right, make his buddies over again. I don't want to get mad at the guy, but seriously, he is. Turn this down a bit. Turn this back down to 100. Turn the similarity. Well, they originally had it high. If it goes too high, it looks awful. 314 looks good. Fine. 314, we'll leave it at that. Duh. All right, so that's good for now. Yeah, I'm going to be paying some more bills today. And I'm waiting for everybody else to come on to the panel. He's going to put the panel link up. I know, I didn't put the link up. I'm going to put that up now for Monica, but she's not here yet. Let's see. At least I got good morning sleep. Yeah, it's still fucked up. Well, you can't always get it perfect. Oh, wait a minute. Do you have to... What? Do you have... I mean, I do... Jesus Christ. You're driving me crazy, Loom. Well, you like it perfect. I know I do. And the problem is I can't get it perfect. Because your video capture device is the camera. I know what it is, Loom. Alright, I'm going to hit edit filters. I'm going to go to the color correction. I'm going to hit defaults. Oh, wow. Well, that locks it in. Yeah, it does. Okay, hit close. Alright, and now we'll just got to go back and adjust the background chroma key adjust. Filters. Well, something wrong with that picture now. For now. Yeah. Video capture device. Edit, filters. Chroma key. Hit edit. Let's see. Let's see if we can adjust the similarity tool. Looks like it's pretty much fine tuning it. Then that makes it worse. So, what happens if we bring it down? Like, that's green. Yeah. No, let's get rid of the sparklies. And now I can probably bring up the color spell reduction tool. Let's see, what is the color tool still? It's not that great. No, it's not. 200, 201 maybe? All right, let's about as good as it's going to get. Oh, jeez. Oh, you got it? I think so. Right now, Mike's got his buddies over here again. How you doing, Lando Shirk? Did you receive? No, I did not. Yet. According to what I was told, the information that the IRS is supposed to be going to start putting in the processes today, but I don't necessarily mean that this time in the morning they're in my bank yet. Doesn't mean it won't be. It was just very frustrating. I'm good break at work, checking in. Okay. So how do you think about the shows have been lately? You like the shows? Do you think they've been good? Have you been enjoying the conversations on the shows? No, bro. It's not good. That's good. How are they going to scan it? How are they going to do anything with that, bro? They pick up these bags. Mike, could you keep it down, please? Yeah. All right. So anyway, this morning I kind of got a little bit annoyed with him because he was like, again, he had a pile of cigarette butts and ashes sitting on the table after I cleaned it. I got mad at him. I screamed. Well, I didn't scream at him, but I got mad. I was like, look, this is not acceptable. You got to keep this clean. Okay. Been working. Well, that's good. You need to work, right? I mean, if you got a job, you're lucky. A lot of people don't even have that privilege right now of having a job. Even though some states have a thing called right to work, which kind of makes me laugh when you hear the term right to work. And I say that because what I've understand about the legislation of right to work, it's not what you think it is. Have you thought about doing a podcast? You mean another BCast like I used to do? Yeah, I did one recently, showing the dishes. It was actually a vlog, but I ran through Final Cut Pro, so it kind of became a B cast. Right to work is scab labor. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's not what you think it means. Right? But then again, right now, people will be happy to have a job at this point. The fact is, everything is going up in prices. Hyperinflation, anyone? It's sort of like I don't know how much longer the American economy is going to be able to survive with all the stuff that's going on. And Joe Biden's administration has totally messed up, like big time. Um, I think the biggest mistake was rescinding or the work on the wall. I think that was a mistake. I think the wall should have been allowed to be finished. I think that Trump's immigration policy should have remained. I can see the idea of raising corporate taxes and the taxes on the 1% part, but seriously, why stop the work on the wall when the money was already allocated to finish working on the wall? And now we have a situation with, oh, the immigrants, illegal people coming in, and our immigration people, the CBP can't even handle it all. Well, I understand that, but please understand one thing that's a valid point is what is an adequate wage? It's relative. I mean, remember, money, which is the method of exchange, is based on what is mutually agreed on by multiple parties. Okay. For example, if you go back in say I don't know, I'm gonna pick a year. Say 19 well, let's see. When I was working in Friendlies, I was paying like $5 an hour. I was back in the 90s. Okay, let's say well, let's just say you might be doing the same job, but your wage changes. Okay, and the reason why your wage changes is because things go up or down in price. Okay, this is what they call the consumer price index, which affects how much your money's worth. So when 1990, 596 and I was working at Friendlies, I was getting paid $5 an hour. Okay, at $5 an hour then it was worth 3 times what it's worth now. Okay. Um just based on the realistic prices. For example, I could buy a gallon of milk for that back then for $1.79 from Cumberland Farms. Today, you cannot buy that gallon of milk at Cumberland Farms except for about $4. Notice I'm sticking with one store's pricing only because it makes it easy. So you figure out that everything has doubled in prices since. So when I was getting $5 an hour, what would have costed me um $1.79 back then? It's costing me $3.99 now. Okay, it's because of cost of production's gone up and the price of fuel has kind of gone up a bit too. Even Kimberly Clark said that they're going to have to raise the price of toilet paper. Who would have thought? Well, that's because the price of wood's gone up because the paper mills that make toilet paper need wood. Okay. Actually, there's a way to fix that to a part. Yeah, we got to become a YouTube Red, which is fine for me because I still get paid. I just don't get as paid as much in YouTube Red. Another way to do that is to make sure that you, for YouTube anyway, you got to turn the screensaver or your screensaver lock screen off. Okay, in your on your phone but that kills the battery. Okay, but then again, that's the easiest way. As I said, I'm thinking about trying to get in some more B casts because considering that Ed wants to go travel, see the USA in a motorhome, which we talked about last night. I personally don't mind the idea of traveling in a motorhome, but I seriously don't know if I want to um, go through all the frustrations of traveling like that. I mean, to live on the road, constantly living on the road, not having a permanent place to call my home, absolutely does not make me comfortable. That's just my opinion. I don't. Monica, I have no clue where everybody is, but if you want to join the panel, at least we can have one person come on the panel. It's open. Probably everybody's paying their bills. Everybody on fixed income today is probably paying their bills. Probably is. It's Friday. Yeah. Because the second when people receive their disability income today for Social Security disability, fortunately enough, most of my bills are automatic payments, except for the ones I manually pay, which is the phone bill and the internet bill and the rent and the other bills. Those I take care of manually, but the rest of them are all electronic EFT payments. So just gotta make sure to write them in my checkbook when the time comes. All right, exactly. Rusty may hate it. He didn't like being traveling in a U-Haul van and a cat carrier. I don't think he's going to particularly like being in a house that moves. I'm concerned that he might freak out and then he might have a heart attack, or out of anxiety he just basically bolts out the door and then I'll never see him again. That worries me. I don't want my cat to be uncomfortable. And let's be honest, you're talking about a vehicle that's going to make weird noises when it's moving around the road, And I just don't know how he would react to that. I mean, I like the idea of traveling. I can see the value in it. But, I still really want an apartment anyway. So, which means, or a house, ideally, I wanted to get a house, which is something I still want. Oh, somebody wants to join the panel. I'm sorry I missed you. Let me get you on here. Oh, okay. It's Monica. Good morning. Sorry about that. I wasn't even looking.
That's okay. I had to turn off my headset and put it away because it doesn't work anymore. So.
What do you mean it doesn't work anymore?
My for some reason the Bluetooth speaker doesn't work.
Oh, so you're having the same problem that Bubba was having with his headset?
Yeah, but it's just because it's old.
Yeah.
So I've just got you on the phone. I'm just running to get a pack of cigarettes, and then I'll be home and I'll be able to put the chat on my tablet.
So you sure it wasn't just a matter of maybe you got to repair them, or maybe you have to go in and adjust the individual volume for the headset?
No, it's just a $10.
Well, then you don't lose much. Yeah. So what do you think of the morning shows anyway?
I love the morning shows. They're my favorite ones because we get to know each other.
Right.
We all get to talk about whatever, life, news, our kids, our health, whatever we want.
You seem to sound better today for some reason. Because last time I've talked to you, you were overpowered or modulated, but right now you're not. I'd say you're just about the right volume level.
Perfect. Good. Okay. Well, it's probably the headset then.
It could be. Yeah, I definitely think that I was gonna remember back in the early 2000s when you had those Bluetooth. I call them Bluetooth ear slaps. They used to hang on the side of your face.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never had one of those, but somehow I just didn't think that would be such a great idea. Because remember where the microphone was? It was on the side of your face.
Yep. Now I have these two little ones that just fit right in my ear hole.
Okay.
Teeny tiny and pink, and they go right in my hole.
Yeah. Earbuds are okay.
Yeah.
I'm wearing full over the ear headphones. That's just
Yeah,
good.
now you get better sound quality with those. You get better noise cancellation and everything with what you're wearing.
Well, these don't. These are from the 1970s. They don't have noise
Oh,
cancellation. They just got nice foam pads that fully cover the ears, and so I get very
they
few
were
background
affordable and they're
noises from
comfortable.
them.
Yeah, they were affordable and comfortable, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And but I like the night show too. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of fun at night.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun in the morning shows. I think the morning shows do pretty good most of the time. They always go green. They never go yellow much. I think after we started doing the morning show, I think I had one show that was yellow, and then after YouTube reviewed it, they said, "Oh, this is suitable for green." Oh, I'm glad you noticed that. And
Thank
after
you.
that, I haven't had a problem with that since. But you know, I think there's something in the night shows that gets YouTube all upset. I don't know what it is.
Well, you can't hear it very well because I know you're partially deaf, and that's why they do it. But that guy that talks with the soundboard says a lot of really inappropriate things in your voice with that
Right,
soundboard.
right. And
And
then
I think
YouTube,
that might be part
and
of
then
it, but I
YouTube
don't know
hears
for
that,
sure.
and YouTube doesn't know what to make of it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't offend me. I just don't want you to lose your monetization. I know that some people don't think it's a big deal, but it's a big deal to you.
It's a big
That's all
deal
that
to me
matters.
because I mean, even if it isn't a lot each day, it still counts for something.
And
My
also
channel has been
your
growing.
reputation,
My
Michelle.
channel's
Your
been growing at a
reputation is
very good
important.
rate. So it's holding steady. I mean, the subscriber count doesn't change too bad. I mean, it doesn't really increase much either. But then again, it hasn't really decreased. I think I'm up to currently 1067 on the subscribers, which is okay. At least it's not falling into the floor like a rock.
Yeah, yeah. The thing with your show that's unique, and Noodles is 100% right about this, is the phone. The phone is unique. I understand, though, that it's frustrating for you, especially when you get nothing but prank calls. But maybe you just do open phone lines 3 days a week instead of 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
But I
lately
think
we haven't
that's,
even had very many phone calls at all coming in, and in the morning show we rarely ever take phone calls.
yeah, no, very rarely.
Sometimes I will, but usually I don't.
No. The morning
Um,
shows are definitely my favorite for that, but I always have fun at the night shows. I like all the people that are in there. I know I didn't used to. I didn't trust the panel in the beginning, but I know they love you. I
yeah,
know that now.
the panel majority of the panel is really focused on trying to make the show a good thing. I think at first, I think Paul and Skynet were not sure if this formula was going to work because that wasn't what they were used to.
Yeah.
But then after a while, they got to see that the panel and the show content we were doing does work.
Hmm.
And it's a pretty easygoing pace thing where I don't feel like I have to go grab an antidepressant every time I start showing them at night anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Because it was getting really, really bad for a long time. I was like, the phone calls, some of them were just
Was
so
that
bad. Go
after
back to
this?
2018, you hear what I'm talking about. And it
Oh,
was like, nobody enjoyed it. Some of the trolls did, but I didn't. I felt like, oh my god, like this is not for me. I don't want to sit here and have this kind of horrible stuff said. I'm
yeah.
surprised. I don't even know if all the shows from the past shows were ever monetized. I know some of them weren't, but I haven't really checked all of them since.
Yeah. I don't know how. I wouldn't even know if I could check that. I can see Social Blade says it should be monetized, but it doesn't tell me whether it was or not. But I think that we just need to keep tweaking it and find a happy medium, and you just
Right.
have to talk to Paul and Schmeckel. They love you. Just let them know.
Yeah,
And
I mean
just
that's what we've been
don't
doing the
care if
shows like
they
we
use your
have, and that
bullshit.
seems to be working for me and them. We
Just
have
have that
we get a little
type
more loose at
thing.
night, but we don't get ridiculously loose. The night show is kind of, it's kind of a compromise show. Okay, you want to have a little fun, you want to ham it up with the camera, that's fine.
Yep.
But let's not go too far.
Yeah,
The morning
tell
show
that guy
is
you can't
more
talk.
like, it's like,
Can
think
only
of a
talk with
couple
us at work and
people
use
sitting around at a
recipes.
coffee house talking to each other. That's the
Yep.
morning show.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about the morning show.
Yeah. Even Blazing Leo likes the morning show. They all do.
Everybody does. Even Paul and Schmeckle do. Even Paul and Schmeckle do, or Schmeckle and Skynet do. They come in, you know.
Yeah.
So
I didn't see them here yet. Well,
no,
Paul.
right?
I mean, yeah, Paul / Schmeckle is not here yet. Skynet is en route to his girlfriend's house.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be. He's still. I think he's now settled in where he wanted to be. But they said that some of his bags got left in one of the layovers. So now he has to get the bag from the airline. He's got to get that bag and put it on the next plane for him.
Yep.
I never heard of Spirit Airlines before, but so he said, like, this is really frustrating. They put me in a 3-hour layover in, I think he said it was Fort Lauderdale, and he was like, and I said, well, they didn't even give you a voucher for a meal. I'm like, that's stupid. He said, I'm just gonna be glad when I can finally get to my destination and take a shower and eat and shave and yeah, exactly. That's why I don't like flying. I hate flying. Besides how it damaged my hearing in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I had a cold at the time I got on the plane, and it just damaged my eardrums. Yeah.
Captain Winston Red 100s.
Yeah.
Sorry, ordered my smokes.
Sorry, I already smoked. So I'll say.
I had to order my smokes. I'm at the drive-thru.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No,
So,
I don't like flying either, Michelle. I always feel like I'm going to throw up.
yeah. Really? Why would you feel like you're always going to throw up? It
scares me. It scares me.
What does? Flying. Yeah.
They say it's the safest form of transportation in the world. I said, yeah, but when a plane crashes, 100% of the time you die.
Not necessarily 100%, but let's put it this way: the chance of survival is slim.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
And remember, you're in the hands of a pilot, a co-pilot, and air traffic control. And if anybody screws up on the route or on the piloting, it's gonna definitely be like what happened to MH380 or 370. You're gonna be like, the plane disappears, and you're like, where did it go? And you know what? They still never found that plane. I have a hunch I know where it is. It entered a parallel dimension.
Depends on if it was over the sea or the mountains, right?
Another story of another ghost plane from the 1950s landed in an airport 30 years later. And the people and the passenger in the plane didn't even know 30 years have passed.
Oh, that was a TV show. That was a TV show.
That was also based on a real plane, by the way.
It really happened?
It really happened.
No, where was it for 30 years?
It was a plane that took off in 1954, 40 years, and it arrived in 1994.
Oh my God.
Of course, the passengers got out the plane. They didn't even recognize anything because it was all different.
Oh my hell!
The only thing they could do is since the plane supposedly had to finish it, going on to its next leg, they just basically had to fuel the plane, and the plane just took off again.
Oh,
it was from an old. It was from an old style airline. I think it was like a DC-10 or DC-9 airplane. It was a turbo. It was a prop plane.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
So that was kind of I've heard that story on YouTube, and I saw the actual pictures. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
The poor people.
There was a really short-lived TV show that was so good on ABC about this lady who that happened to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was based on a true story. Huh.
Yeah, it was based on a true story.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I mean, how does a plane disappear for 40 years?
I don't know. How did MH3? How did MH370 disappear? Same way. It just went off the radar and it never came back.
And then just landed 40 years later.
And at
everybody
the
was fine.
airport, that was supposed to be its layover.
Oh, wow.
And the pilot didn't even understand how it happened either.
No. Talk about missing time. They were abducted by aliens.
Maybe, but I think they probably went through a wormhole.
You know what? Yeah, they do say that's the actual future of time travel or the actual
wormhole.
Light is a wormhole, yeah.
And then, of course, there have been people, they show pictures, some people show pictures of the past in the 1930s where a woman was using modern cell phone.
Yeah.
And here's an even more interesting one. They found a modern watch in a tomb that was over 3,000 years old that was never opened.
Wow.
How did a modern digital watch that was still working? Oh, no, actually, was it working or did the battery die? I think the battery died.
So all these UFOs could really just be us time traveling.
There are time travelers. If you watch George Norrie's Coast to Coast, you hear about them all the time.
Well, and even David Pilates, he talks about people who go for walks in the forest or you know, like that, and they disappear and then they come back.
Right. And I don't usually watch David Icke, but I believe you. Oh yeah, there's another David Wilcock. He talks about that too. The point is it's just interesting.
Called Missing 411. There's 2 movies on YouTube. The second one is all about hunters, and it's really good.
Yeah. So one of the things that
and I can't remember his name. It's a true crime one. He called 911. He was on the phone with 911. He was yelling, "Help me" or something. All of a sudden, there was 2 gunshots, and he was completely gone. The cell phone signal has never been found again, and nobody's ever found his body.
Did you ever hear about the guy that was, again, another future traveler from... I can't verify this one, although it is an interesting story, kind of similar to the plane, but it was an individual from the 1890s that showed up in like 1980s New York City.
No.
Totally bewildered what has happened to him, how he ended up in 100 years in the future.
Oh my gosh.
So be careful, kids. That next step may be into another parallel dimension. You never know what the future's going to... Maybe I might be better off than some because I'm a little understanding about what's going on. But even I would probably be befuddled and bewildered if I woke up. Let's say I went to bed tonight, 2021, April 3rd. I wake up, but it's April 3rd of 1890 or,
1821.
1821. The building wasn't around in 1821. So let's talk about something that's a little bit less scary. Let's just say 1890. I'll just say 1921.
There you go.
So you wake up in 1921. Your bedroom is in the same place, but now everything is 1921 furniture.
Oh yeah, your cell phone's gone. Your computer's gone.
Yeah, your identity is useless. Your purse is probably gone.
Okay, because we remember how to use old technology, though. See, our kids and our grandkids would not be okay, but we would because we know how to use it.
Right, so I would know how to pick up the phone and deal with the operator and say, please connect me to so-and-so. But the thing is...
Call the Army and the Air Force. I'm out of time.
Who would I call in 1921? Who would I call? I don't know. I could be flipping through the phone book like crazy going... I don't know any of these people.
I have ancestors in Utah. I'll call them.
In 1921, none of my family came off the boat at Ellis Island yet.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see? So you'd have to call another country.
Yeah, they would still be stuck in the old country. But if it was me in the in the United States, obviously, I wouldn't know anybody in Winston. Who would I call? Oh, I could call Winston Police. What would you tell them? Hi, officer. I am totally lost.
I call my grandpa and say, you don't know it yet, but I'm the apple of your eye.
But you know what, though, on the other hand, it would be a good way to start over, wouldn't it? If you think about it. If you had a bad past in the present, all of a sudden you back up 100 years in the past. If you're smart, you can go, well, I can start over.
Yep.
Maybe, for example...
There's Charlotte and Jasmine in the chat.
Charlotte and Jasmine in chat? You guys want to join the chat? Yeah. Blazing Leo, want to join us too? Oh, yeah. We got everybody at the link out there for everybody. Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, think about it, guys. If you woke up in a completely different time period that you went to bed in, like I said, I think in my case, 100 years. Guys, what happens if it was 100 years in the future?
Yeah.
You wake up in the apartment, and next thing you know, you think you woke up in your apartment, but you actually woke up on a pile of dirt because your building got torn down 100 years before. You didn't know. So you're next thing you know, you're waiting on a pile of grass.
Oh, yeah.
In the
My
year
house.
2121.
See, my house was built in the 40s, so it wouldn't even be here in 1921. I'd wake up on the grass on
Yeah.
the side of the mountain.
Or if you're lucky and you did wake up in your house in the future, all of a sudden you're seeing flying cars everywhere like the Jetsons.
Yeah, like the Jetsons. My mom.
Back to the Future Part 2.
When her grandparents when my grandparents were teaching her how to drive, her brothers wanted her to learn how to change a tire. And she said, why? By the time I get a car, they're going to fly.
Yeah. Well, they're really starting to design those, but right now the problem is that well, they're expensive, and the ones that are out there, you need a pilot's license.
Well, and not only that, Michelle, the petroleum industry needs us to have roads, or it goes partially under.
Needs us to buy fuel.
Yep,
Because let's be honest, electric cars are nice, but the truth is they don't have the rate. Petroleum.
Yep, plastic.
Medications, fertilizers.
Yep, all that stuff. It's a necessary evil.
Well, unless we want to go back to using glass and wagon wheels, or a variation of the wagon wheel. Everybody's used to having inflatable tires because it makes the ride smoother.
Let me guess, nobody's going to come on piano with me because I'm a loudmouth.
No, why does everybody come up with the panel? Maybe because they're late. They're just getting settled in.
With us.
Yeah. So anyway, the whole idea is there have been many books on time travelers, or time skipping, as I call it. Many science fiction novels based on the concept as well.
Yeah.
So I would probably be more prepared for that. As I said, it was me. But I mean,
I've read some on it too. I think our generation, us Gen Xers, would be the best suited to time travel right now.
I think the millennials would be in trouble.
Yeah, they would be in big trouble. They grew up with some of the technology. We still had a dial-up phone when my oldest.
Take a 21-year-old now, right? And you put them in 1921. First of all, the computers that existed then were like mechanical computers, or they were just starting to get with the electronic ones, but they were monsters. They were like big rooms of clinking parts. Okay, and I can just see them go, oh gee, I need to find out, like, for example, the news. Then they have to go pick up an old newspaper, and it's just like Montgomery's going, oh, how quaint! I got to buy a piece of paper to get the world news.
Yeah.
And of course, 1921 was right before the, 9 years before the 1929 stock market crash, which actually lasted for about 10 years. People didn't realize that. It wasn't like it was gone like over in 1930. It actually took World War II to get us out of the Great Depression.
Yep, to restore it. Yep.
Yeah.
And the New Deal.
The Green New Deal, which is what we're still living on to this day. And then we got Lyndon B. Johnson's solution, which works on the Green New Deal, which expanded it in 1964 and gave us the Social Security disability programs that we all know of today.
Exactly. But, the tax thing was supposed to be temporary. The income taxes only going to last 4 to 7 years.
Yeah, I know.
And then they found out how much money they could make and said,
The funny thing on the state of Connecticut level, we as far as I know, statistically, we did not have an income tax until Lowell Weicker instituted it, and it was originally supposed to be. Everybody kept trying to repeal it ever since, and they've never been successful repealing the state of Connecticut income tax because they realize there's too much money being made now in revenue. That's the way they never successfully repealed income tax in Connecticut. The Democrats may want to get rid of it again, and so did some Republicans. But the truth is when they see how much money it keeps the state going, they're like, this ain't gonna work. Lowell Weicker was right. The state needed this income tax.
Yep. We live right outside of an Air Force base, and growing up, I always associated with kids whose parents were in the Air Force, and they called Utah U-tax.
Yeah.
Because they tax the heck out of you for everything here. But it's because the state runs on it. And right around us is Nevada, no sales tax.
Yeah.
Idaho, no sales tax. Lottery thing, being able to do that would fund so much more than income taxes, but Utah won't do it. It's against the Mormon Constitution.
Well, it's certainly a lot better than a sales tax, because the sales tax, I think, is more damaging to people than the income tax is, for two reasons. Number one, those who cannot afford to pay it get saddled with a higher proportion of taxing. I'm talking about the poor.
Yep. They actually changed it in Utah, so our sales tax is 6.25% for everything but food. Food is cheaper.
Yeah, well, we pay the same thing in Connecticut, 6.35. Food is free, tax free.
Yeah, they shouldn't tax us on food, but in Utah, they still tax us on food.
I don't know. Well, the thing is the sales tax, as I said, is a progressive tax. It causes a lot of hardship for those who are least able to pay.
Exactly.
They charge tax on food in Massachusetts, though. At least they used to. I don't know if they still do today, and they do in Arkansas as well. So then when normally at the end of the year, as long as you save all your sales receipts, that's a pain. Those sales receipts today are not going to survive for months and months in a drawer. They just fade away.
Yep.
And there's your chances of getting your money back for taxing food. So the point is that I think that taxing people to death is not going to help the problem, and that's what part of the whole problem is.
That's why we broke away from England, for crying out loud.
Right, because we're complaining that we're being taxed without being represented at the tax discussions.
Right. So we're represented at the tax discussions, but we're represented by the jackasses that make $300,000 a year off our income tax to be politicians. Really?
Yeah, and they're all basically professional lawyers, can lawyer themselves out of a black hole.
Yeah, and they make 3 times what my husband and I make, and we don't live too bad.
They make 20 times more than I make.
Yeah. My husband makes $25.
Oh, that would be an interesting one. What would happen if you sent one of those people through a wormhole into the past?
Yeah, they wouldn't even know how to live.
I don't even know what they would do. To deal with all the past legislation that they never had to worry about, like the Jim Crow laws and the other things. I think they would freak out.
Yep. I think that our forefathers would roll over in their graves. They would be spinning in their graves if they knew what's going on right now.
I could just see Lyndon B. Johnson going back to maybe not Lyndon B. Johnson, but any of the modern politicians. Let's say you just take even Chuck Schumer and you send him back to say 1865, at the time of the fall of Richmond, and you wonder how he's going to survive that as a politician from New York. Going, what you mean?
Walking the way he talks.
I got to now trying to deal with the Emancipation Proclamation. I've got to figure out what we're going to do with all the freed slaves. We're going to figure out what we got. I don't think he would even know where to begin. And then knowing him, he'd probably try his progressive claptrap and would find themselves dealing with a very, very unwelcoming legislature. Going, where did you come from?
Yeah. Not
free
liking his
money,
fancy talk.
free
Not
programs for
liking his
this. Who's
fancy
going to
talk.
finance this?
Revolution. Blazing Leo jumps in the chat. Revolution, she yells.
Yeah. Right, revolution. Speaking of Leo, why don't you come into the chat? Yeah, I know. It's just some of the stuff is just really to think about in time travel. You know, like.
Yeah.
By the way, I tried to explain this before on the show, and I failed to successfully clarify this. We talked about the afterlife, and I talked to Mother God because I'm always in contact with Mother God. I even call her mom, by the way. And we were discussing my future life, and I said, "Mom, is there any way I could come back as a blood elf in the future?" She said, "Yes, because there are blood elves. They do exist in another dimensional plane."
On other planets. Yes, ma'am. I believe it. My religion even teaches it.
Yeah.
My religion teaches that there are other planets with other gods.
And she said to me, "Is in fact, when you die, you don't necessarily need to come back to this earth, Michelle.
Yep, you can go to
You
another
don't have to
existence.
repeat the same life. You don't have to. It's your choice. I
Nope.
mean, you originally wrote your life chart originally to go back to a Victorian type of period, but we can amend it because you haven't died yet. Okay, so you can amend it because most people don't even write their life charts while they're on Earth. They usually write them after they're dead. You and Lumi wrote yours in advance. So you want to amend it so that you can come back to the real version of Silvermoon. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I believe it's completely possible.
Yeah. If you got planes landing 40 years late, why not?
Yeah, I believe that Star Trek is not so far off.
Charlotte, do you like the Victorian era? Well, thank you for the donation. Blazing, much appreciated.
I'll clap.
Go ahead. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for the donation. Much appreciated. The thing is that looking back at the Victorian era, there was some good and bad about it. Unfortunately, the bad was the pollution and some of the arrogant attitudes among the well-to-do in the Victorian era. That was probably the worst problem, was the pollution and the arrogant attitudes among the well-to-do. And then, of course, the poor basically got the shaft. But then the poor always gets the shaft. So maybe we're getting less of a shaft now, but we still get the shaft. So depending on which part of the Victorian or where you are, what your station would be when the Victorian era, when you come back, you might be enjoying a great life, or you might be having the worst life in the world, working in the cotton mills and at the risk of losing your arms and legs in machines, which was a problem. And the dirty, smoky air, and even those people who made matches, who got phosphorus poisoning. Oh man, that was just not good. The Victorian era and the medieval era, but both were hard on the poor, though. Remember, the well-to-do always benefited on the backs on the poor. People don't think about it, but it's true. As we walk through the graveyard, literally, the graveyard of people that died in the Victorian era, especially those that worked in the mills, was ridiculous. There was so obviously I explained to Mother, I said, well, I want to still mend my chart. She said, fine, we'll mend your chart. Or what about Lumi? What do you want to do? Lumi said, well, I'm not sure yet. That's what I told her. I said, I'm not sure yet. Because I personally would like to go with Michelle, but on the other hand, I don't know if I would want to go to Silvermoon. Against it, but it's not really sure if I want to do it. If the Silvermoon is anything like the game, I don't think the game is a complete example of what Silvermoon is, but I see your point, Lum. I mean, when you go ahead and you're just a frost mage or a shadow priest, and you're just basically doing equipment and mind flay and basically destroying brains. I don't think that's what I'm going to do either. I don't mind doing the idea of doing mage work as a frost mage. I hate playing a shadow priest. I do. Right now, you're playing a discipline priest. Right now, I'm playing a discipline. Yeah, I haven't played the game since. I got to get back and finish the quest for that. So yeah, I don't. So like I said, I mean, like for example, one thing that the World of Warcraft never talks about with any of the characters is what's their childhood like. You'll notice that most of the characters in the game are adults. You
Yeah.
see very few children in the game.
True. Even EverQuest.
Neither EverQuest or even Elder Scrolls Online. So
Yeah.
where's the kids? I mean, after all, you got to grow up to be warriors, right? And mages, priests, whatever.
They're all playing in the anime games.
Yeah, anime games, but in real life, you know, there's families in the games in the real world. If there were so Silvermoon, you can visualize that a lot of the families are living together. What's it like? What's it like to be born a blood elf? What's it like to live in a time when everything is basically based on magic? Or you can
Michelle.
wake up and you can make an instant hot coffee by basically just conjuring a hot coffee without even actually going out and milling the beans or anything.
No,
Or
yeah.
or turning on the gas and heating the water on a stovetop percolator. And hell, all I have to do is just think coffee. All of a sudden, a hot cup of coffee sits right there in front of you. What's that like? I mean, or how about the fact is like, you know, you have to deal with a family and you have to deal with a home that's like completely different than I could imagine it. For example, if you look at my character in Silvermoon, I mean, she stays at this one inn. In the real world, you think you're going to be staying in the inn for free?
No, yeah.
No. And then I found out from historical sakes and what an inn was like. They weren't that fancy. You would be sometimes sleeping 3 or 4 people in a bed. Because just like everything else, the more people to a bed means more profit for the inn.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Right.
That makes sense.
And it may not
You know, my
necessarily
dad-
it may not necessarily be paired up with your best of buddies either. You can be paired up with a total stranger.
True. Absolutely true.
Of course, if you're traveling as a threesome, maybe you can get the bedroom together. If you're lucky, if the person has a bed for you. Or maybe
But if you don't know, I mean, it's a different lifestyle. It's a whole different world. It's probably something that's totally.
in this case, it would be a whole different world.
Yeah, it wouldn't be strange to them because they're used to it.
Yeah. Obviously, if you were born into that world as a new person, you probably would get used to it too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. But Michelle, I think with your fanciful ideas about it, you should write them down and make them a story. Fan fiction is a reality in World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, it is a reality, but I mean, yeah, there is a lot of fan fiction out there. But I think every time I start writing a story, I always sort of like lose steam right near the end. I don't know why.
Yeah. I have trouble with character development. They all kind of sound like me.
Well, they all sound like me. They all have my name. Every single character. Michelle. So, of course, in the last few stories I wrote, I had created a character where Michelle was not the main character, but was a side character. The main character was a young teenager named Lucia Benacasa. And that was in the Battle of the Snow Team, which is available on my Patreon page if anyone wants to read it.
I'll check it out. I'm in Patreon.
Yeah, that's on my Patreon. Kind of subscribe to the watch it, so a minimum of $1 a month, and you can read it. It's a PDF. I messed up while I was I was recording when I wasn't on. I wasn't, so I'm going to go back and do it again. But I got some cool footage. What's this about?
She's Blazing Leo's website or her YouTube page. She went to an old cemetery.
Oh, okay. Old cemetery. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really into that. I'm not really so much into cemeteries, but like I said, it's the whole story of a person's life that kind of interests me, especially different time periods.
Yeah.
Or in the
Yep.
case of like place like the real version of Silvermoon or the real version of Agama or the real version of Stormwind, which we can envision the real world version of Stormwind because all you have to do is look back at the medieval era on Earth and you can see the Stormwind of the past. Big walled cities, big, big walled cities. They were just the keep, of course, was the most important part, but um, they were actually Stormwind would be considered like I said, like a medieval walled city. There was one in France that would have been about the size of Stormwind. And it still exists today. And it's still an active real city. The walls are pretty much gone, but the city's still there.
There used to be walls around New York.
Yeah. But that was because they had to keep the water out, not to keep out invaders. Because remember, where New York is built, New York was built on an island, and then when they backfilled a lot of the island in when they built the city, so they had to put the dirt somewhere, and those made New York bigger.
Yep.
By recycling the dirt for new properties. So, when my daughter was a baby, I used to push the pram around the cemetery after visiting my mom.
It's peaceful.
Seeing the children's graves is very sad. Yes.
It's hard.
But then again, a lot of kids died early and young, even in the Victorian era.
Yeah.
And a lot of reasons why. First of all was medical care was just starting to come into more modern version, especially like the 1880s. But a lot of them just died in mills and the factories in accidents.
Yep. Tuberculosis too.
Yeah, tuberculosis. And of course, parents died of syphilis and other nasties. As I said, we're just starting to get into the modern medical care by the 1880s. We're starting to get into the medical sciences. We're starting to grow up. But you talk about tough people. I mean, especially the people back then. It was a tough life.
Yeah.
So we might think when we think about the Victorian era, so many people think about how great it was, the big manor houses and things. You guys are looking at the housing of their version of the 1%ers. Yeah, you're not looking at the housing the average poor person lived in.
Nope.
Which really isn't much different than what poor people housing is today. Sure, we have flush toilets, and we have electricity, and we have central heating, and we have modern stoves, gas, electric, whatever. But if you really think about it, the housing itself wasn't that much different. No. It's just based on the newer upgrades to an older idea. Because back then, in the Victorian era, a house wasn't much different at all. Okay, Blazing Leah wants to join us. Let me get her up on the screen here. All right, let's go. How you doing, Blazing Leah?
Morning.
Yeah.
Morning,
Monica.
Good morning, Blazing Leo.
It's been I don't think I remember getting you guys on the same chat together before.
Yeah, we have been.
Maybe once we did. But
Monica, I don't know why you're so forgettable.
I know, huh? She confuses me and you. That's what it is.
Oh, is that what it is? It could be.
Well, before it was your earpieces that were just creating so much distortion that I couldn't
ever hear me.
Yeah, but now I can hear you fine.
So I know what to do next time. I just leave my headset off.
Yeah. Or just get a plain set of earbuds.
I know. Gosh.
Whereas my microphone on my phone is atrociously loud. I don't know why. LG did that in the design of the phone. They set the volume gain up, and the microphone's so ridiculous. And there's no individual way to turn it down either. So when I talk to Ed, I sound like I'm talking through a megaphone to him.
Oh.
And so
okay,
I have to.
I got some cats I gotta go let in. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh, let them
It's gonna be-
babies in.
Yep.
I want a cheeseburger for lunch. Says James. Really? So where's Andrew Scott today? Probably busy. It's 3 or 4 in the afternoon there. Yeah. Probably be on tonight's show.
Yeah, I don't know where he is. Well, he might be, doing something.
Might be working too.
Oh, yeah, maybe he got some work or something.
Well, he was hoping to go back to work soon.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they're doing a little bit better in the UK right now, they're still struggling with the stupid pandemic, but they're doing okay. The number of vaccinations right now, in the United States is entering into a fourth wave, and people are like freaking out because they're like, last year we were told that everything would be better. Well, okay, it's improved a little bit, but you know what?
Morning, Lando Star.
Yeah.
My friend got the.
I keep calling him Blando. I keep calling him Blando Shark. I guess I can see the T is an H.
My friend got the vaccine.
Which one?
And I didn't even know he got the first one, but he just got the second. And he's like, he said he feels really run down. He doesn't feel good at all. But I've heard that from several people.
That's a common side effect.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why now when people really are interested in the 1-dose vaccine, but due to a mix-up in the manufacturing plant, the Johnson & Johnson had to throw away a couple billion doses of vaccine.
Oh, that's scary.
But
that's the one I got.
Well, that's if it's already out there, you don't have to worry. It was new doses of vaccines that haven't been yet shipped.
Okay, phew.
So basically, it's not like they made it. It's not like they made the vaccine poisonous or something. It's just I guess they mixed the wrong ingredients, so it really didn't do what it was supposed to do. And so Johnson & Johnson said, "Well, we can make fresh stuff." A lot of the earlier vaccines came from the Netherlands. Those are fine. The ones that it was just the latest batch that somebody mixed the wrong ingredients in the machinery. So they're going to be making new fresh.
All those people who got that vaccine, it's basically useless.
And pretty much, yeah, those who got from the U.S. plant that may have already gotten the doses, it's useless, but doesn't mean that they can't go ahead and get the right stuff. Now,
see, that's what I mean. I had it 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, so you got the good batch.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I mean, but I haven't even taken the vaccine yet. So
I won't take it. I'm sorry.
People right now, there's proposals for requiring passports just to travel from state to state, and one governor of Florida said, "I'm not going to enforce that. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's going too far. Passports to travel from state to state."
Mm-hmm. That's dumb.
Because of the COVID issue, it's a little bit much.
Well, they're all worried about the new variation.
Yeah, there's new strains. There's a lot of new strains coming in now from the East Coast, and yes, there is a lot of concern. But I don't know. I think
I've had it. I've been repeatedly exposed to it, and I'm fine.
Yeah, 6 months the antibody stays in your system.
Yeah. I probably had. I've probably been exposed to COVID too, and I never really had any serious side effects. I think I had a headache, and then I kind of got back on my feet again, and I was just back fine. But don't forget, with the new strains coming out, new variants, it doesn't matter if there's a vaccine or not, because like may not be workable on those strains, or they may not work as well on those strains. And then you're gonna still end up going, well, gee, then I have to take another vaccine to deal with the new strain. It's just like the flu virus. You're gonna be basically
Every year it's a new flu.
Whereas in my case, I don't even take a flu vaccine.
Mm-mm.
I've had the flu.
I've stopped. It didn't do no difference. I still got the flu.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's the flu vaccine. Like I said, they're about a year behind.
The thing with the flu vaccine is just like with the coronavirus vaccine, it doesn't prevent it; it protects you from dying from it.
At least it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's supposed to make it not as serious.
Yeah. Now my daughter,
I just don't. I mean, if you have a good immune system,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
see. I have a good immune system, so
I'm
it's
going to
like,
say straight out, I
baby-
think my immune system is so-so. I don't think it's the greatest in the world right now. But, I mean, right now I'm just starting to get back to walking around a bit more than I was. And you ask my gut how much I haven't walked around. And Troy, it'll tell you a story.
yeah.
oh, I know. I was talking to my daughter, but I'm like, I gotta lose my belly. She's like, no, mom. She's like, it's so comfortable.
Yeah, like I really want a pillow in my stomach, right?
Well, in your case though, Michelle, because of your knee, any bit of weight loss.
Yeah,
even
but
if you were
because of
slim,
me and then
you
all
know.
the lockdowns on top of everything else, it didn't help. The fact is I was recuperating from my knee problem, and at the same time we're having a COVID lockdown.
Mhm.
I didn't do much, and I really kind of regret that. They have McDonald's in London.
Oh,
Yes,
excuse
they
me.
do.
Just had my breakfast.
Ron DeSantis says, James, okay. I'm in the cheeseburger I am the
My
cheeseburger
youngest daughter
monster.
that got COVID, she didn't. Her worst symptom was a sore throat and fatigue. She never had a fever over 99. She had a cough for days. She never lost sense of smell or taste. It was amazing.
I never lost my
Yeah.
smell or taste. In fact, if anything, my sense of smell has been enhanced. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and see, when I had it, me and my mom got it at the same time, and at that time, my mom had stage 4 lung cancer. She bounced back within like 2 days. I had it for about a week.
Wow.
And I was just like fatigued and like the flu. It wasn't any worse it was actually more milder than the flu.
Yeah, it was. Jody's had the flu before, and it was nothing like what she had with the flu. But I did H1N1, and I ended up in the hospital in a medically induced coma for 2 weeks because I tried to die.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was sleeping.
Yeah. Well, then you would probably you benefit from the vaccine.
Maybe in my case, maybe being in a medically induced coma wouldn't have been so bad if I decided to seriously fix my kneecap, because they told me if we have to fix your kneecap, you're gonna be laying in bed for about 3, 4, 5 months. I'm like, in that case, your parents will knock me out cold because I ain't gonna want to be awake and basically not being able to do anything for 5 to 6 months in bed.
Yeah, I'm surprised because usually when they do a replacement like that, you have a couple days, maybe a week of downtime, and then they want you right back up doing like physical therapy.
Well, the problem is that it's not just the kneecap. It's not just the kneecap. There's also rib tendons too.
Yeah. What? Yeah. I don't know if that, because I know when they did my back surgery, they wanted me up and out of the bed the next day. Yeah. And I was like, "There's no freaking way, man."
Well, I mean, if the doctor told me, "Well, you're going to be staying in bed for 6 months," I would be saying, "No, I'm not." you were going to put me in I'm going to either A, be knocked out cold for 6 months, or you're going to make it possible so I can move around. And
Well, isn't that why they invented those little carts where you can put your knee up on them and roll
What's
around?
that?
Hey, could you call the soup kitchen and see if they're open?
No, I didn't. You want the number? 860
Hold on.
738-2449.
What is it?
860-738-2449.
Leo,
I
he
wish
brought
you would have.
he brought friends over today.
I was just talking to Mike.
Michelle
he
got up
wanted
this
to
morning
know
and
what
there was
number
a
to the
pile of
soup
ashes
kitchen
on our
was.
coffee table again.
See, she needs. If I was Monica, if you were there, you'd probably do the same thing, right?
Kick his ass out.
Grab him by his hair, make him clean it up, and then kick his ass out.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, he cleaned up. He cleaned up the table. Because I'd be like,
Okay.
I was just frustrated me this
But
morning.
he brought friends over without even asking you.
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
it's one thing if they're coming just to pick
Well,
him
I
up.
already
and
told him
stop
by
in,
I already
but-
told him nicely that by next Friday he has to get his stuff out. Have all his stuff out of here.
Okay.
Good.
If not, I'm going to contact Stan and have him come help you get him out.
Who's Stan?
Yeah.
I don't know how to contact Stan. I'm just joking.
Oh, is Stan the landlord?
No, Stan comes in our chat sometimes, and he lives in Connecticut.
Oh, yeah. I know Stan. Okay.
Yeah.
And CT Clamor, the Connecticut Clamor, he lives in Connecticut.
Oh, does he? I haven't seen CT in a couple.
They
Days.
both do, but they're different people.
Yeah, but he's been hanging out with in the Camillo crowd, out on the wire.
Hold on a
crowd.
minute. What?
I need the number one more time.
860-738-2449.
John Heyman's in chat
Yeah.
saying, I'm going to come up there and throw him the hell
Yeah,
out.
I know. There's a lot of men that's been in the chat saying that.
Yeah. We're going to let her try it her way, John, and if it doesn't work, I'll let you know.
All right, so are they open?
I don't know. I'm trying to find out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, I told him he has to have all his stuff up by Friday next week.
Next Friday, so you give him a week.
I said, Mike, it's time for you to go. You can't even be here. My landlord doesn't even want you here anyway.
You can't lose your home over helping him out. It's getting warm. He'll be okay.
And not only that, but I have a friend that's coming over for a few weeks at least, and that's Ed. The man that proposed to me twice.
Does Connecticut have squatter laws that might protect him from you kicking him out?
They do, but in this case, the squatter laws wouldn't help me any because I want him out, which means I'd have to follow evictions.
Okay, well, hopefully it won't go that far. But if it does, we'll get Michele will help you.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'll get that bad.
I don't think so either. He's your friend. He loves you. It'll be okay. He's just getting a little too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
He's bringing his friends here at night, and it's like, you didn't even ask me, and I'm getting ready to go to bed. All of a sudden, his buddy starts showing up. It's like, what? It's 10 o'clock at night, Mike. You know, do you have to bring your friends over now? You didn't even ask me.
What if you were running around the house in your bathrobe?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I was still dressed at that point. I was like, sorry, I forgot to ask.
Yeah.
I said, well, why don't you and your buddy cigarettes in here either? Because he's smoking them up and like it's irritating my lungs. So like, oh.
Yep.
It was cold though last night, so I was a little more.
My bitch mode would have came out already.
Yeah.
Oh, I already was.
I don't like to bring it out, but man, when I do, watch out.
This morning, I got really mad at him about this morning when I came, in the living room, and he has a cigarette ash just sitting on my kitchen table or my coffee table that I cleaned. I'm like, I just washed that. You're washing it this time, buddy.
Does he not have an ashtray? How's he getting cigarette ashes?
Just throw it on the table.
What a pig.
Because
Yeah.
that's what they do
He's
in the.
sloppy.
That's what they do in their homeless situation. They just throw it on the ground.
Yeah, but you
Um,
would think that he would have some manners when he's in the house. I mean,
Right? Yeah.
you would think.
let's put it
I
this
don't
way:
think he
he's
would-
not fully housebroken.
I don't think. Yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't.
He needs more training.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't raised homeless.
Yeah. Well, like,
yeah, 18 years he had parents, so.
and then of course he's like wiping the table, looking at the table, the paper towel. I said, "That's what that stuff's doing to your lungs, buddy.
Yeah.
You're
I
inhaling
wish
all
I
that
would
crap."
I wish I'd listened to my doctors years ago and quit smoking years ago.
Yeah, I need to too, because we got lung cancer that is in our family, and it's like,
Mhm.
but right now it's so hard because you can't do anything to occupy your mind, and
Yep. And my kids are getting cooped up too, and they go crazy, and they get bitchy, and then I get bitchy, and then I go buy a pack of cigarettes. So yeah, it fails a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, do you have to do something that's so destructive to your body, though?
I know. After what I went through with the flu, you would think I'd have stayed quit. I was quit for a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, like I said, in my case, I ended up basically after 2019 until now, I basically didn't even go out really. I stayed in the house, or would just run across the Cumberland Farms and get a little bit of cheese and chocolate or chips. And I mean, once a week, once a month, I go shopping with Krista. But personally, I really didn't care. I was like, ugh, I feel like I'm just a shell of my former self.
I
But
think everyone feels
then I
like that.
started to saying to myself, well, maybe I'm not quite a former shell, but
Oh, Michelle,
I
my
could.
sweater came, or my hoodie.
Oh, you got your
Oh, it
hoodie?
did?
Yeah.
What it look like?
I ordered the black one, and then it's got the picture of, the picture you put on it in the front. It looks really good. The
And
picture
you also
looks
got
good.
my email address on it too. On my
Oh, I
YouTube
didn't even
channel
look.
link.
But
Well, I
yeah,
think
it's comfortable. It's one of the nice hoodies that has like the fleece inside.
Yeah.
It's not. I bought a hoodie for like $50 one time, and it had all the horror characters on it, and at the bottom it had this elastic, and I hate that. So I was glad that it didn't come like that,
Yeah.
because I had to take the elastic out, because every time you reached up, the thing would bunch up underneath.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't have a choice of the basic hoodie design that they used.
No, your
It's a
hoodie
good
is
one.
good. I'm
It's a good
talking
one.
about the one I bought that was 3 times the amount of this hoodie.
Oh, okay.
Will you post a picture of it in
Yeah,
Discord?
I will. I was gonna. Bubba wanted me to model it, and I was like, I have to, kind of look kind of good before I do that, and I was looking like crap
So
yesterday.
you like the way it has my name on it, and it also has like the where it says basically says I snow my business, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's kind
Yeah,
of
and it's not like super thick either, so it's good for the spring.
right.
Mhm.
You
I'm
love
gonna
the
probably. I don't
layer.
really get into hoodies or sweatshirts. I might just buy myself a couple of the t-shirts though, and the mugs.
Yeah, I might buy my kid a T-shirt, because I need to get her some new clothes anyway. So
And maybe then people might go, "Who is the North American Snow Queen?" Oh, there's a webpage. Gee, I can go to that.
she calls you Elsa. Oh, is that your Elsa friend?
Oh, yeah. When my hair was blonde, they looked like Elsa. But theoretically, Elsa was a Cancer, though. People didn't realize that Elsa, the character, is actually a Cancer.
Oh, geez, Michelle. Only you would know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was born in actually July.
Yeah, my youngest.
She acted like a Cancer, though. She was so moody.
Yeah.
My youngest is a Cancer. Very moody.
Mine is a Scorpio, man, and
Well,
she's going through
it's
puberty
kind of
right
funny
now.
though,
Not fun.
because you would have thought that the Elsa would have been like an Aquarius.
Well, Leo, advice from one Scorpio to a Scorpio mom.
Maybe a Scorpio.
Accentuate her positives. reinforce that she's got a strong willpower. She can do anything she wants. Her
So you gonna
mind.
take the
That's what
garbage
I
out now,
tell her.
Mike?
Yep.
You gonna take the
She's
garbage?
just right now with her.
You got-
She's
you
going
got plenty
through.
more
She's
room?
going through
All
like
right.
this depression. That's
Yeah.
hard.
It is.
I can
because
take
when
the
we hate
snappy
ourselves,
attitude.
when
I can't
Scorpios
take
hate
this
ourselves,
depression.
we hate ourselves more than anything else, and that's what depression does. And
Yeah.
just level through it, Mom. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, it's
completely
funny
normal.
though because, like I said once before, is I can see my pictures acting up in the background. Oh, is that? Yeah.
Oh no,
Let
the
me
green
fix
screen's
that.
gone.
Yeah, it's the stupid cord. It's I don't know. It's all messed up again. Why don't you just change the background to something else? Like what? I don't know.
Thank you, Charlotte. She'll be fine. You know, it's just she's going through puberty way too young for her age. They're actually sending her to a specialist for it because she's only 8 and she's got 10-year-old bones.
Yeah.
When they did that X-ray on her, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're gonna want to try to put her on medication, but I'm gonna tell them to shove it up their butt because I went through puberty young and I turned
Oh,
out
this
okay.
one has the same problem
Yeah.
with the plug that the other one has. Oh, okay.
Just love her through it, Leo. Just love her. Tell her it's
I know.
normal. Everything that you think and feel, every little thought that pops in your head is normal. It's what
Yeah.
you do with it that makes it good or bad or right or wrong.
Yeah, she's kind of going through like a sexual identity crisis right now.
Oh.
Yeah, she wants to be a boy, then she's telling me she's bi, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever you decide to be, you know, Mom's always gonna love you.
Yep, no matter what.
Well, at least
Whether
you're willing to go that far. My mother was quite the opposite.
Yeah,
My mother was
I
insisting I
don't
was
care
one,
who she loves as
and
long as
then
that person treats her right.
and then my
Exactly.
mother in the end threw me out of the house, and I was like, oh God.
Sorry, Michelle. I would have never done that to you.
Thinking
I
that'll
wouldn't either.
change you. No, it didn't change me, Mom. Here I am, 30 years
I mean,
later, still living
your
on my
parents
own.
don't have, your parents don't have to agree with your lifestyle, but they had you, and the silent vow that they took when they had a child was to love you unconditionally.
Exactly.
I mean, first of all, for a parent to have a child, it's a blessing. Don't make it into a curse, okay?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Ted Bundy did not sit on death row without a visit from his mother. You always
I want to
Exactly.
change the
no matter what
background on
they
this
do.
because this is so stupid. The camera is just acting totally messed up. I don't know why. Let me just change the background. Anything would be better than nothing. Let me
Blame it on COVID.
let me change the
It caught
background.
the COVID.
It caught the COVID, the camera.
Okay,
Yeah.
the background camera is messed up. I don't know why. Let me just change the background. Any background. So let me just switch this one off. I'll switch this one on. There you go. That's better than no background. So now I'll just press the space bar, fade it in. I'll do the same thing on this one here.
Oh, there you go.
Switch
That's
this
pretty.
one, switch this one over here. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It was
I
just,
like
it's
that.
just, I don't know why the camera's doing that. I think it's because the converter is it's got loose connector on it. I think the stupid BNC plugs basically broke a solder trace side on this one too. So that's okay for now. At least we can get the background fixed. I have another way of fixing it, but I'm going to fix those two converters, even though they're old school, and see if I can make them better. So at least now it's a better picture anyway. You see, I changed the picture now.
I like that picture. It looks springy.
Well, it's better than none. I mean, it's a cute picture. It's a cute little background. So, yeah. I'm not sure why I did that. I wish I was still in my 20s, said James. Well, unfortunately, James, entropy is a part of life. You just have to accept it as it is.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't mind getting older because with age comes wisdom.
Experience.
The only thing that sucks is the body starts to deteriorate. That's the only thing that's horrible about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
what
nice thing about the blood elves is that they live for thousands of years.
Well, see, then you really got
Yeah,
to
but
take
they
care of
look
your
like they're
body.
always in their 20s.
Yeah.
And their skin's blue.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about complexion.
What's
or
characters are those? Draenei?
The darker the skin, it doesn't age like white skin does. So you'll look young forever.
Okay. Well, you know what? There's characters in World of Warcraft that have blue skin. There is the Draenei and the Darkborn, the Nightborn
Yeah.
elves.
In EverQuest, the dark elves all have blue or green or gray skin.
Yeah. Oh, and EverQuest. Okay, I didn't know that. Well, then again, I haven't been able to play EverQuest at all because they still have not created a app yet for the Mac,
Yep.
and the company's kind of surly, like, why should we? Kind of attitude, like, don't you guys want more players?
Yeah.
You know, it's
You'd
like,
think.
and it's like, especially now with the new M1 Max, you're not going to be able to run Windows apps. So why not? You know, I mean, I thought the idea of being a video game creator was to get your game out into the hands of the players. If you can't do that much, then you're gonna just die
Macs are
from
just-
the equivalent
Macs are
of
just
malnutrition. Yeah, you're not going to be getting the kind of people to come in and want to play the game. They're going to just go, screw you, and they're going to walk away and go to another platform that at least works on their particular machine of choice.
Yeah. Macs are just so expensive, but I think the iMac would run it, but I don't know for
The
sure.
new Mac M1 Mini is not that expensive. You can get it. You can get an entry level one now for $699.
And that's a regular computer, not a notebook.
It's a desktop computer.
Huh.
It's not much bigger than the CD player, and it basically you just plug in your favorite monitor, your favorite USB keyboard and mouse, and boom, you're all set to go. But EverQuest won't work on it because it's using the ARM chip. It's not using the Intel chip.
Oh.
Unless you want to get the older Mac Mini, which is still available, the Intel-based Mac Mini.
So are you going to get the base Mac? Are you going to get a Mac Mini now that they're so affordable, or you still going to get the other one you want?
I was gonna go get the MacBook so I could have something I could take with me around. You know.
Oh, okay. Yep. That makes sense.
I thought about getting the Mac Mini, but I want the one with more memory. I want the one with 16 gigabytes of RAM and at least a 1 terabyte hard drive. Once you say that, 16 gigabytes alone is $899. Throw in a terabyte of RAM, that's gonna add another $200 to the price. That's like $1,000.
I have 62 gig in my computer.
Yeah. 62 gig of memory or a hard drive?
No, RAM.
Memory.
RAM, yeah.
Oh, I don't even need more than 6. I don't even. This Mac here, this 2009 Mac has 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's running at 2.44. Let's see. Let me check the specs on this machine. I know about the memory part because I check it all the time. But let's see about this Mac here. Let me pull this up here. It says it is a 2009 2.66 gigahertz quad core Intel Xenon processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, DDR3, 1066 megahertz. And it's got an ATN Radeon 3.72 megabytes of video RAM. That's works for my applications. I don't have a problem.
Nope.
So, because unfortunately my video card doesn't have the EFI ROM and I can't boot into Boot Camp. So I can't play EverQuest even if I want to. But then when I set EverQuest, the way I see people set up the screen, it's so busy with windows on top of the actual video screen. You're actually looking at the character, but you see all these other windows pop up on top of it. Like, why?
But you can customize it.
Yeah, I know you can.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing with World of Warcraft. I know some people, however, like me, who are like, keep it clean, keep it simple. I don't want to have a million windows on there. I mean,
see, in EverQuest, I played mostly with control functions and didn't really look at my character. So,
yeah,
I looked at what I was killing though. I liked to look at the dragon before it threw me across the zone and killed me, because I was an enchanter. I could control dragons. They didn't like me.
Right. So I mean, like when I looked at the graphics in EverQuest 2 versus EverQuest 1. I mean, your graphics are a lot more simple than ours. I mean, I mean, your graphics would be kind of similar to what World of Warcraft Classic looked like, not so much like Shadowlands. Because I showed you the
I like the
graphics in
personality
Shadowlands.
that owned Noodles, Charlotte.
What?
Charlotte said she has many personalities, and I told her, I said, I like the personality that owned Noodles.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I didn't meet that Charlotte yet, but I heard about it.
Oh, it was so funny. He was even laughing.
He posted a video I watched the other day and was saying something about he was the best looking guy on YouTube. And I said, well, I think without the beard, you resemble Dom DeLuise. And he replied, you spelled Brad Pitt wrong.
Yeah. And me play these spikes that pit on. Okay.
That was funny.
Either way.
It was funny.
So as
He's
far as
so
personality,
So funny.
I've been
I
trying to
just
be
wish
nicer
he wasn't
to him.
such a ass.
as
Yeah.
far as personalities go, people don't really understand that. Yeah, you are born. See, I really have a hard time to explain this to someone. I guess it's almost like trying to explain when you're transgender. Like in this case, you talk about zodiac signs. It's like he's like part of you is like trying to correct himself. Well, theoretically, I'm born in Aquarius, but I act like a Virgo. I was like, why don't you just say you're a Virgo and be done with it instead of keep trying to basically apologize that you act like a freaking Virgo when you're really an Aquarius? Like, what's the point? You're already, it's like I can't. I guess
Just
it's
say,
almost
"I
like I'm
identify
embarrassed
as
to say
Virgo."
I'm a Virgo, even though I'm really not. I mean, I am, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
You just identify as Virgo. You're okay.
I identify as a Virgo.
Yep. Just say, I identify as a Virgo.
Okay, somebody's necking and knocking sound. Is that you?
No, I'm sorry. That's me rolling cigarettes. I'm trying to mute, but
Oh, okay.
I was going to say something, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to say it. Then I was going back and forth.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I definitely have way more like a Virgo than I do an Aquarius because I looked at all the traits of Aquarius. I don't even have it. I even took a test. It said you're a Virgo. You're only 70% Aquarius. And then, of course, I
Well,
looked at my life chart and it's like, yeah, I got 3 Virgos in my chart. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, why? Yeah.
I'm full of Scorpio. Chuck full of Scorpio, and my romance house is Virgo with my husband, and we are so compatibly. We did a couple romance
Well, that's
chart
cool.
thing, and we are completely compatible. We have a very rare unconditional love that most people don't even find in life.
Well, that's good. It works out for
That's
you,
amazing.
Yeah,
Like I
was
said,
oh
like in
hell,
my
honey, look at
case,
this, we're made for each other.
they say that for me, the best compatible match is a Taurus. It's kind of funny because actually Ed is a Taurus and so is Mike. Of course,
Yeah.
Mike's too young for me. He's only in
So
his
is Paul, and you
30s.
want to kill him, so
But Ed is about 9 years older than me. And I've known Ed for 25 years. So I guess that makes it a little bit different because it's not like, I mean, and I told Ed when I found out about my life chart, he was like not totally surprised. He said, oh, okay. He said, maybe that's why we're so compatible.
Well, Michelle's situation brings me up to what my mom always said. Would you rather be a young man's slave or an old man's darling? So if you and Mike ended up getting together, you'd be constantly picking up after him, cleaning up after him.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm already doing that. I'm like
and then
sick
now
of it.
you're, Ed's a little bit older, and it sounds like that's the better match. So it's kind of funny, though.
Yeah, so like I said, Ed's a Taurus also. I'm not saying he's clean. He's got his moments too, but at least I can say he's more housebroken. I can tell you that much.
But he might have enough respect for you to clean up after himself.
And he doesn't smoke either.
Mike's not, doing that unless you get on his case about it.
Yeah, and Ed don't smoke either. Both do drink. But and I have been told Ed plenty of times I'm not going to go get your beer every time. He used to send me out to do his beer runs for him at the package store. Like now I have a physical reason not to do your beer run so much. I'm not saying I won't do some, but it's just going to be really challenging to go running over to John's, especially because it's on the sidewalk on that side of Winston is a little bit rough and the traffic is insane. And smoking for non-smokers is gross. Absolutely. I do not like cigarette smoking. I don't even see where the enjoyment is in it. You know, but drinking for non-drinkers is also gross.
Smoking for a smoker to me is gross. I hate smoking. And the only reason I still do it is because it's a habit. It's not even a nicotine addiction. Well, I'm sure that plays into it somewhat. It's more of a just I'm bored,
Well,
whatever.
if you want to stick something in your mouth, then why don't you just go ahead and stick a ballpoint pen or something?
Well, see, I don't know. I've tried doing that, and I've even tried. My mom tried. She quit one time just using a straw,
Right.
cough drops. But I don't know. It's just a different.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, for me, it's just the fact is what you're doing to your body is so.
Yep, I know.
It's suicide one day at a time. It's. I just can't visualize how you're ruining a body that's a rental.
Yeah, I think it's probably more of a stress, like a stress coping mechanism now, more than anything. And once you develop that habit, that's probably why it's so hard to quit.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, because you could quit like soda. I quit no problem. And some people are so addicted to soda they can't do that.
But there's some things I get something that Taurus is, and me too, is addicted to food. And the problem is, honey, you ain't gonna quit eating cold turkey. You'll be dead. You can't eat, so you can't quit. But maybe you can do a little bit of work on portion control. Maybe you can try to make some changes. Or in my case, if you keep me busy, I'm not likely to go raid the refrigerator as much. Yeah,
I just don't buy the junk food. That way it's not around.
But the thing is,
if it's around, I'll get it.
Junk food is my favorite thing, but the thing is that I think with especially after the knee injury, it's like I've been so sedentary. I haven't really done much. I used to be active, and now it's like just starting to get back some of my ability to walk as well as I do. And then it's like 2 years and then of course then COVID-19 comes in at the same time. The first year I was already kind of laid up in bed anyway, so it wasn't like I really had much place to go. I mean, I was starting to, when I came back here after living with Patty for that 3 months, I started to go back to the soup kitchen, and then all of a sudden the soup kitchen goes into lockdown, and it's like, oh, that kills my day. What am I gonna do now? I don't know. Just eat, sleep, eat chocolate and chocolate and cheese. Chocolate and cheese. Ugh. I got so sick of chocolate and so sick of cheese. I just I just used to like walking to the soup kitchen, even if it was with my walker, because the hill was really steep going down. But like my doctor told me, he said, be careful going down a steep incline like that because you are going to fall. And then you're going to end up right on Main Street, and then you're going to get hit by a bus. Because of traffic, because he knows Winston's traffic. He says, that's not a very good arrangement. He said, please take your walker with you because I don't want you to lose control of your knee and go flying. Especially down that hill. Yes, I agree with you. But it's just sitting around doing nothing. That's one reason I started the Good Morning World. I originally was doing these kind of shows at the soup kitchen for a while. I was doing them on Facebook. And that was kind of interesting. But then they would have the radio playing, and the microphone on my phone was so super darn sensitive. Unless they're using my iPhone, which is obsolete. They don't even have the software on the iPhone anymore. That it would be constantly getting copyright warnings repeatedly. And you couldn't even turn down the stupid microphone gate. maybe I can plug in a third-party microphone into Bluetooth or Bluetooth. But the point is that this is not what I wanted to do. And then of course I can't do backgrounds like I'm doing right now. Like I changed the background, but I still want to fix that other stuff here. I gotta still fix that.
I like that background.
I'm gonna take care of that this afternoon after I pay the electric and the phone bills. I'm gonna rouse up the old soldering iron and just get inside it and fix it. I gotta get a lot of replacement tools because I lost a lot of tools for a variety of reasons. What I would do is I would just go get you already got a brand new USB dongle. Why don't you just plug the camera into that? I could, Loom. That's not a problem. She's talking about the one that the front camera is plugged into. I have another one that's similar to this one for the other camera, except the USB cable is a little short. So I gotta fix that either way. The cables are still messed up. I still have to redo the video cables for that purpose. That was what I was gonna do with the stimulus money. Michelle, you're destroying your body. Well, John, I wasn't doing any better laying on my bed for 8 to 10, 12, 14 hours a day either. So at least I am moving around more now. Okay, but like I said, the soup kitchen is in lockdown. There's no place to go to eat lunch. Everything is takeout. I have to go get me refill this afternoon at the pharmacy for my niacin. I was gonna do that next week. I could still do it the next week, but the niacin's waiting for me. The only problem is the niacin, it turns my skin yellow.
So
Because
why do you take it? Oh, for your cholesterol?
yeah, it's my cholesterol. He wants to try to raise my high density lipids, the good cholesterol, because my HDL is only like 35. My LDL
Yeah, that
is
sucks because exercise will raise that, but you're kind of stuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm gonna get back into doing things because the lockdown. I think that's the worst of it, is the lockdown. I do want to get back walking around, and I want to eat better. And I'm going shopping next week with Krista, so we can try to get some better food for the house. But like I said, I want to do better for myself. This is ridiculous. And then of course, like I said, the doctors told me, he said, "Well, if we fix your knee, you're gonna be laying in bed for months." I'm like, months? Me? At a rest home for months? You kidding me, right? Who's paying for that? You are. $250,000, please. Oh, gee, what about my existing rent? That's not my problem. Oh, yes, it is, buddy. Because I still have to pay for my existing apartment.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's what they told me. I was like, I'm not. And who's going to take care of my cat? That's not my problem. Well, no, screw you. Why am I going to spend money on something where I'm not? I mean, I'm already walking now. I mean, and the orthopedic doctor is like, yeah, but you're walking you normally. I'm like, at least I'm walking, buddy. You're gonna basically put me into a health system. You're not gonna take care of my cat. You're not gonna take care of my housing. I'm gonna lose my apartment. You're gonna take all my Social Security check. You crazy? And then because they're saying, "Oh, you don't have Cadillac insurance care." Oh, excuse me, I can't afford that kind of crap. What do you think I am, a multimillionaire? People, I'm sorry, injuries come to people that are poor too.
Yep. That's why I don't get my bunion fixed, because they told me that I'd be off my feet, literally off my feet, not 100% for the first 2 weeks. I'm like, what? But now that I'm not working anymore, I can probably do it.
Yeah. But either way, at least you'd be at home recuperating.
Yes, exactly.
And you have your family to help you.
Yes, exactly.
You're not at the mercy of some rest home that basically wants to take all your social security check to pay for your care,
Yeah.
and then doesn't even give you the money to pay your rent or your
Yep, and doesn't
apartment
even consider that you
or
have
your
a cat.
utilities.
Yeah. And a cat that needs you.
And the
Yeah.
cat has to be fed, or knowing them, they'll say, I killed a cat. It doesn't matter. Of course the cat matters. He's my cat.
Yep.
You know?
He's our cat.
Yeah. I see Rusty as a roommate that's just a non-human roommate. You know, but I'm still responsible for his well-being.
I take care of my cats just like I do my kids.
Right, exactly. So, I
Except
mean,
they
for
don't
me
talk
to
back.
have somebody in the medical industry tell me that they don't care tells me it's like, why would I want to risk losing everything from an accident that
Yep.
and then losing my housing because my landlord will throw me out to the docks if I don't pay my rent? He's gonna want his rent.
Yep.
And like I did, I had to pay back rent for several months. I was paying back rent from March until September. I mean, that took a lot, $900 a month, and then the rent went up to $800 a month after that because he went up on everybody's rent $100, not just mine.
Yeah,
And
but
then
he wouldn't be able to raise your rent if you were on housing if he'd just brought your apartment up to code.
my apartment's
He's a
not
jerk.
on housing.
You were on though, but your apartment didn't pass their inspection.
Right. And he doesn't, and the housing doesn't want to work with him anymore because he kept an attitude with the inspector.
Yeah, because he didn't want to bring the apartment up to code.
No, not that.
Oh,
It wasn't
he
that at
just copped
all.
an attitude.
They were working on the new porch at the time, and
Oh,
the
wow.
inspector showed up right when they were working on the porch, and he was just one of the younger guys who was kind of surly, and he was like, "This place is a dump. I flunk you." They didn't even give a good reason to flunk him.
Oh, wow.
All because they were working in the porch, and my landlord tried to explain that we were temporarily we were living in another location because of the work on the porch, because the occupancy permit had been temporarily rescinded because the porch was a fire exit.
Right.
And then when a young millennial guy came back the second time, the guy had this kid had an attitude problem, and he just shows up. It's out of nowhere. My landlord rightfully was mad as hell. He was like, "You said you were supposed to come next week. You showed up early," and he started screaming at him because he was pissed. And the kid, of course, likely started screaming back at him. I'm like, "Oh, there goes my voucher."
Yeah. And then you'd have to move if you wanted to keep your
And then
voucher
he
back.
told
I
me,
get
"Well,
it.
you can still keep your voucher. You just got to move." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Sorry, I can't afford to do that. It's not
Exactly.
affordable to just pick up my bags and leave."
Right.
You know.
I get it. It's still not cool though.
Well,
You'd have your subsidized housing if he wouldn't have got mad with that guy who would have.
well,
if
I
that
made
guy would've
enough
come on
money to
time.
keep paying the full rent on my own because that's what I did when I first
Yeah.
applied. So it wasn't like,
Right.
and I got less back then. Now I get more. But the thing is that it's not homeless. Mike is not the causation of my place being a dump. The problem
Right.
is my landlord is also getting old. He's also has health problems too.
Right.
I mean, when he bought the place,
That's
he
what I
was
figured.
younger. He was more, healthy. But back about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when he bought this place, so in that time he was able to do a lot of the work. But now he's got up in age and he's having a hard time doing things. So he has to hire maintenance guys, and it's harder for him. And he doesn't just have a building; he has several.
Yeah.
Um,
I get it.
GTG battery is low. Take care, Michelle, and let me buy Leo Monica. Okay. See you later, Lando Stark. Sorry for calling
Bye,
you Lando Stark.
Bye, Lando Stark.
Okay. So, yeah, getting old sucks. Well, unfortunately, everybody does. So,
I really thought the world was going to end on 12/21/2000, so I wasn't ready for old age.
I thought it was going to end in 2000. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think the
For
world was
2012.
necessarily. I didn't think the world was going to end in 2000. I didn't even think the world was going to really end in 2012. I just said the world.
I
Well,
did.
I said maybe things may change, but I
was
didn't
kinda
think the world
hoping
was
it
going
was
to
gonna-
end. I know I was.
It really was. I won't lie. I was kind of hoping it was gonna end.
Yeah.
I was convinced.
No, I just saw the world as a change. I didn't see it as going to end.
Well, you have an
My
inside-
thinking was right, but it was actually, I think, notice a significant change. For example, we talk about the Y2K, for example. Y2K was kind of headed off at the past, but that wasn't that big of an issue. I do think it was more of a problem after the 2012 thing, but
Yeah.
really it didn't really kick in this level of disasters that everybody was talking about. It was just a different thing, if it makes any
Yep.
sense. I don't know. I just, like I said, I just kind of got really kind of frustrated. That you know they treat the poor like crap in this time frame. I don't know why they have to do that, especially if you're disabled. They're like, "Oh, you want to get better? Get off your ass and do something with your life." How? I'm never gonna be not legally blind. I'm never gonna have perfect hearing. Now I have a knee injury that slows me down, but I still keep moving. I'm still doing things. And now you got a COVID-19 virus that basically wants to put me into a grave. In fact, I think it's already tried once and failed. So I bet the virus is gonna come around and keep coming around until he sees me end up dead. It's just scary.
Nah, like everyone's dealt a different hand in life. It's how you play that hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you were dealt a lot of disabilities.
But I'm still.
I think
But
you're
the point
doing
is
quite
I'm still doing
well.
things.
Yep.
I'm
For-
still.
yeah.
I haven't given up yet. I haven't
Yep.
taken the
Yeah.
strong drink. I haven't taken the cigarettes or drugs. Unfortunately, a lot of people do.
Yep.
You know.
Now, remember though, you believe in you picked this life for yourself.
Yeah,
right?
I do.
I believe
There's
in
got
that
to be a
too.
reason why you picked it.
Maybe because I wanted to
Predestination.
learn more what it was like to be poor. I don't think I really was really disabled and poor at the same time. I think.
I think being poor builds character, because when you got money, you can buy friends, you can buy things. Being poor, you have to invent
You got to
and
fight
be
like crazy to
creative
make
to
things
do
happen.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, like some people, when you're well to do, I mean, like you see, like the $1,400 EIP payment coming in, you're gonna go, oh, I can get some new dresses and stuff. Yeah, well, I
That's
can
true,
see
Susan.
that, but then here I am sitting there going like, well, gee, do I want the new video card or do I want a new computer and a new mattress? What do I buy? What can I buy? Knowing that there's no guarantee there's going to be another $1,400 check next time. With CC, we
Yeah.
don't know that.
Yeah.
But the
I
well
wouldn't-
doer is probably like, oh, I can spend $1,400 in a single day.
Yeah.
Not bad an eye.
Well, like I
Good
told
for
my
you,
friend,
buddy.
don't depend on that money. I mean, because yeah, they can say we're getting it, but at any moment they could cut us off. That's not money to depend on. Hey, babes.
Right.
Yep.
And
True.
it's just a stimulus payment. It's not a regular benefit. So you're still, even if it is a regular benefit, even if it were, even if they do pass the ABC Act,
Oh, it looks like a mouse.
even if they do pass the ABC Act, please note it says that you will continue to receive benefits up to a year after the pandemic is over. Okay, so how long is that going to be? We don't know. And then they say, well, we plan to give everybody a $200 a month increase in Social Security for 2 years. Then when after that? Then you tell me that I'm going back to $1,334 a month after you originally would give me $1,534 a month? If you get used to living on $1,534 a month, would you be able to take a pay cut like that?
No.
that's sort of stupid. They really should be giving everybody in Social Security a $200 increase because the Social Security system is so woefully inadequately prepared for the reality of how much it really costs to live on it.
I agree.
You know,
I can't believe, like, Rich Life of Road Trips, he gets 700 and something a month and he has to live on that. That's unbelievable. You couldn't do it without subsidized housing. You can't.
no. Or in this case, he sounds like he's living in his motorhome.
Yeah, right now he's living in his motorhome, but he has a house. His dad left him when he died.
Yeah, well, he's probably depending on his YouTube channel too.
He does. Yep, he does.
You know, and the people say to me, your YouTube channel and through your donations you make most of your money. That's true. But not everybody's able to finance, give you $5, $10, $20 a month time. Sometimes people can only give you like $5, $10, $20, maybe a month, maybe every 3 months. So you depend on the advertising as well. The advertising is gonna, you're working. I mean, I'm working my tail off to make this channel as good as it is. You know, don't forget, there's always going to be equipment you're going to have to replace. For example, like I mentioned about the video card that pulls the camera image in from the camera behind me. That camera video card device is an ancient thing. I have another one of the same one in the drawer here. I'll show you what it looks like. It's old school. This thing here is old school. Okay. What it is, it's the same problem. Got the same loose connection here for the light in for the camera here. It's old school. It's just, I don't know. I gotta fix this. It's old school because it uses FireWire ports. Now, they don't even use FireWire ports anymore in modern computers.
Mhm.
So, and the drivers on it are not even being made anymore. So it's designed to run with a computer running El Capitan. Not even El Capitan. It's designed to run on, I think, a Lion, and maybe Snow, and maybe Mountain Lion. But this thing is not designed for this modern operating system. I'm lucky it works at all. And then it's like, so I bought these replacement ones, which are the little USB ones that plug in to the USB port on the computer. And they work okay. This camera in the front here, the one my face is on, is plugged into that dongle, which works fine. But sometimes OBS doesn't always initialize it, even though it is a UBC and it's a modern technology. And then of course I have other cameras too. Like this camera here is USB based. This just plugs right into the computer itself through a USB cable.
Right.
Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But
not that I anticipate you becoming PewDiePie anytime soon or not, but I think that you need to make your the North American Snow Queen an LLC, make it a business name, and you can write off all your expenses on your taxes that go towards
the
your
only problem
channel.
with doing an LLC is then you got to pay capital gains tax, and you got to go because
okay.
it's completely different from a sole proprietorship. I'm a sole proprietorship right now.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, as long as you're some kind of a corporation, then you're okay, right?
Right. And LLCs also require you have to incorporate, and it's completely different tax.
It is. It's a lower tax, though, liability on you yourself, isn't it?
It is lower tax liability, yes, but unfortunately, I don't think liability right now for what I do for business is exactly my biggest problem.
No, I don't think so either. I was just making a suggestion for as you grow, but I think sounds like you've already got it covered. I just know that if you
and also the other problem is once you go through and you become a corporation, all of a sudden you now have to deal with a whole different accounting style versus a sole proprietorship or even a partnership. And then you're probably gonna like, and then once you get stockholders involved, and then they're gonna have a board of selectmen or chairman of the board.
That's only if you.
And all of a
that's
sudden,
only
your control is completely out of your effort. In fact, unless you own the majority of shares of the corporation, if they don't like you, they can throw you to the dogs.
But that's only if you join the Public Trading Commission, and most people don't. Most corporations don't. LLCs don't. LLCs are limited liability corporations. They don't sell stock.
Yeah, the limited liability. But then again, I don't think it's worth it for my channel to do that.
No. But even as a sole proprietorship, my husband was a painting contractor for years. He wasn't incorporated. We were still able to write off everything that was for business.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I can always write off the repair or equipment upgrades, which is still part of the normal rate of business anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to depreciate your equipment expenses over a period of time. So you figure, for example, like the cameras, how long are they likely to last? Well, let's say a typical camera lasts me about 20 years. So you can actually depreciate the cameras over a period, say 20 years lifetime.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah.
The computers, they probably say, well, the typical computer might last that long too. But I'm not going to go through that much work.
Yeah,
So right now,
true.
I'm just working on profit versus expenses. I'm just keeping it simple. There are things that
Yeah.
you buy. There are things that you are going to be replacing as you go.
Well, it sounds like you've thought it out at all. So I'll keep my advice to myself.
Yeah, I just keep it small for now. I don't want. I mean, the 1099s. I got those coming in for next year's taxes. And I'm not going to go do the IRS really screwed us this year because they said to us, like they did for the last 3 stimuluses, oh, you don't have to do anything. Just sit back. And the money will be given to you. Oh, really? Well, last year you had the early filers tool. And if I had known that you were going to do this, screw up again, I'll just file a tax return next time. Because those on Social Security that filed the tax return got their checks right away.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of stupid. You would have thought that the IRS and the Social Security would have gotten the actual people in Social Security first. Because those that don't have an income coming in would need that stimulus payment first.
Yeah, but if you think about it, Michelle, the working class are the ones that are suffering the most. That's why they're doing the stimulus.
Yeah.
So that's why when the people that are filing
Yeah,
taxes,
I know they're suffering the most. I agree with that. But they're also getting $1,200 unemployment right now.
I'm not. I didn't qualify.
Plus whatever the state was giving them.
That's only partial of what, like that would never, if I was working, that wouldn't even have been like half of what I would have made.
I didn't even qualify.
Well, let's put it this way.
You didn't qualify? How come?
Just to keep simple math easy. How many jobs give you more than $400 a week?
Well, I had a career, so.
Yeah. My husband makes $25 an hour. He makes way more than $400 a week.
That's $10 an hour gross.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Work in Connecticut. You can work at McDonald's for $10. I mean, McDonald's, everybody has to be $10 an hour. Because our minimum wage is $10 in the state of Connecticut. It's $10.25 actually. But you're making, say $10, making math easy. So if you're getting $400 a week plus your state's own unemployment, whatever you were entitled to get on the state level, that's not bad. And then they're giving us the stimulus on top of that to everybody.
But how are you getting a payment from the state if you're also earning a weekly wage?
Because the state is already paying your unemployment, and that's so this the $400 a week or $300 a week is on top of what the state's giving you for unemployment.
So you have a job and you're collecting unemployment.
So let's say, for example, you got laid off from your job. Let's say the state benefit says, okay, we're going to figure you're going to get $250 a week.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's kind of crappy, but that sounds about right. Now you get the $400 on top of that. That's $650 a week.
But that's only if you're working. A
I mean,
lot
the
of these
poor
people, a lot of
person
people
may have
right
been
now aren't
making
working.
the person may have been making, say, $350 a week, $450 a week. Okay,
Right.
depending on the kind of job they were doing. And then, of course, if you're sole proprietorship, you're working for someone like Uber or Lyft or even Grubhub, you get your 1099. You can actually go for the payroll protection program too, because you're considered self-employed under the IRS rules. So you can get your PPP program too.
Huh.
So if next year, if once I start getting my 1099s, I could actually go to my bank and I could apply for the PPP program. And even as a sole proprietorship, I can still get that. Isn't the tax code fun? The point is that so the only requirement is I have to have my 1099s first. Once you go with 1099s, they file the tax returns, and all I have to do is just take the information to my local bank and say, I've already been working during the pandemic. I have my 1099s. I can prove that I'm a sole proprietorship, and I could get anywhere from about $20,000 to $40,000 in PPP money, and most of it has to go to payroll, even if it's just you.
So is Connecticut a right to work state?
It's I don't know exactly what I mean by right to work state. As I said, what I've heard of the term used, it always sounds like it has to do with unions.
Well, it has to do with that, and an employer can fire you. It's at will. Your employment is at will.
My employment is at will.
So in Utah, for example, if you get unemployment and then you get a job, your unemployment goes away.
Yes.
You don't collect unemployment and a weekly wage.
Right.
I lost a weekly wage, and I don't.
Well, because
qualify
it's
for
called
it.
unemployment compensation. It's meant to be like when you're not working, that you're going to go get your new job. Then you're working
So it
now, so
doesn't-
that you don't need the unemployment anymore. That's
So you
what they're
can't
thinking.
include a weekly wage in their unemployment benefit because they don't get both.
Yeah.
So that's
Right.
what
So
I'm
it's one
thinking.
or the other.
Right.
But the state of Connecticut is a blue state, so I can bet that they're probably going to end up changing things as they go on later on.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm concerned that the Democrats are going to put us in the hole big time,
Oh yeah.
because their argument is well, the rich should pay more. Okay, fine, but yet you're giving all this money to illegals. In fact, they've been getting paid better than Connecticut residents for years. Connecticut is also a sanctuary state too.
As one of the states that people can immigrate to.
Yeah, it's a sanctuary state. Yeah, and the problem is that they were the ones who fought against Jeff Sessions big time. And our governor at the time told Jeff Sessions that he can go pound sand. He said that we're going to continue to remain a sanctuary state, and we don't give a darn. Even though Jeff Sessions had threatened, it was the first attorney general, and said, well, then you're going to lose all your state entitlements. State of Connecticut said, we don't care. We'll just sue you. So it was just, I don't know, it was just a mess. It didn't solve anything.
No.
It just didn't solve anything. And so the thing is that for everybody, and it's hard to explain that to some people. That Connecticut is one of those states that basically, like New York, just doesn't care. And also, like New York, is bleeding red. It's just not making money right now.
Yep.
So they're one of the states that was screaming for help for states and cities.
It's not a big vacation area either, is it? It doesn't have a big tourist community, or does it?
Connecticut doesn't really have much of a tourist area. I mean, it's got some things, but it's not really like a major tourist
state.
state.
New England. It's part of New England, so it's got its historic sites, right?
Yeah, it's got its historic sites, yes.
In Utah, we've got national parks everywhere.
We have some state parks. We have some state parks, but we don't have national parks.
Yeah, we got national forests and state parks, and Zion's National, Arches National, excuse me, Cache Valley National Forest. They're huge and gorgeous.
Yeah.
The dinosaur monument is here. Utah's got a big tourist community, and then there's skiing all winter long.
Yeah, it's we have skiing. We have ski sundown. We have I think one or two others places to ski. But I know Connecticut, it's ski sundown's the big one for skiing. That's right. But that's not too far from me. Ski sundown.
Sundown. We have Sundance.
Okay. But you guys, I think, do you guys also have the Sundance Film Festival, or is that New Mexico that has that?
That's in Park City, Utah. Yep.
Oh, okay. So Sundance Film Festival might be where your Sundance ski resort is.
It is. It's all named after Robert Redford named it all because of Sundance Kid Roll.
Okay. Every time he smokes a cigarette,
it's hard, Michelle. But I know you're gonna get. I know you're gonna get your stimulus. It's just for whatever reason. I agree with you. You would think that the Social Security people, disability people, people would have got their money first because your information is basically already in there, or should have.
Because we don't make enough money anyway. I mean, the Congress guys don't even understand exactly what it's like to be poor, like you said about this guy Rich.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of my friends on Social Security make about that much, and then they have to pay for an apartment on top of that. So you see apartments now in Connecticut about $700 or $600 a month for an apartment without even electricity or gas included, and then you're paying that utility bill on top of that. Then where are you supposed to get groceries? Oh, that's what entitlements are for.
Subsidized housing, you have to have it.
Well, no, you can get away without subsidized housing, but then you got to get money from the state of Connecticut.
Oh, they pay you a difference. I get it.
They pay the difference. But if you can get subsidized housing, that's even better. If you can live with the baloney. Yeah.
Yep. My daughter is in a subsidized housing. So it's wonderful because right now she pays full market value rent for that building for her apartment. But if she loses her job, it reduces her income and thereby reduces her rent, which is amazing for her. She was really close to moving out because she could get a nicer place, but she decided that apartments in this area for a 2-bedroom for her, they're like $1,500 and she's paying $750. So she's staying where she's at.
Yeah, it's kind of like me. That's why I didn't move. Yeah. I was like, look at what the going rents of apartments for Connecticut are. My apartment is one of the few that has heat and hot water included in the rent.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. If you were to get this apartment without heat and hot water included, like I've seen, they're about $650 to $700 plus.
Jeez.
And I got gas heat and gas hot water in my rent. So it's like, oh, okay, well, that's not so bad then. Because you realize in the wintertime, sure, it's old, it's drafty. But yeah, hey, he's paying the heat. I'm not. I actually am in the rent, but it's combined in the rent.
Put on one of your new sweatshirts.
I could always put on one of my new sweatshirts. Yeah.
Yeah, stay warm. That's what I tell my kids.
I don't know how the sweatshirt's gonna look with a nice black skirt, but
it'll keep you warm. Michelle.
Probably look good though. I mean, I gotta get some more black skirts too. But the thing is if it wasn't for the fact that YouTube existed, there would be two major things that would be affecting my life in a negative way. Number one, there'd be no way for me to reach out to people. That's a big problem. And number two, I would have had nothing to do, which is related to number one. And number three, which is still fairly important, is I wouldn't be able to bring in additional income because there wouldn't have been income.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, this is like coffee money for me. I mean, most of the time what YouTube pays me is like coffee money. And I'm talking about the YouTube advertising part of it, not even talking about the super chat part. But, you know, Rusty's here in case you wanted that tail swishing me in the face. That's why.
Charlotte will want to see Rusty if she's still there. I haven't looked at chat for a minute.
Yeah, let's see if we can get his camera on so you can see him. He's in the camera here. Yeah, let's see if we can get him on the shot here. Everybody likes to see Rusty. Everybody likes to see the cat. The problem is my webcam is like, except the one that's on the stand. That one is really was supposed to be sent as the Rusty cam. Well, Rusty keeps flipping around and mooning the camera.
Yeah.
I'm surprised YouTube doesn't
There's
say.
the guy. Oh, he's so handsome.
Yeah, he's a big cat.
Handsome boy.
Yeah, he's a big cat. He's a good cat. Oh, there goes gonna moon the camera now. Oh, come
Yep.
on. All right. Don't think people to see your butthole. So at least I'll flip around and face the kitchen door. I don't know why. Because maybe he likes to be near the microphone so people can hear him purr.
I like that too. I love the sound of the purr.
Yeah,
That's why I named my cat Suzuki, because he purred all the time. It sounded like a little motorcycle.
Yeah. All right, come on, Rusty. I got what?
He just needs you.
What? You want to talk to the audience again?
You want to ham up?
Yeah. Let's gotta turn the gain up on the microphone so you can hear him. He's getting hard to hear. Ouch. Don't nibble on me.
Oh, I heard him.
Now he's getting feisty. Come on. Get down. Get down, you big pain in the neck.
Star says, Rusty is the only man in my life.
Yeah, anyway, like I said, he's a good cat. So I have to figure out what the future is for me, because I still kind of really want to do things in my life. And that's the other thing that you hear about people complaining about the poor. And it's like, they're so fat. They're so plunk. They're so clunky. They're big and obese. And excuse me, let me put a few things out to those who say this. Number one, we don't like being fat. At least most of us don't.
Nope.
But you guys you give us this free money to pay our bills. And we have very little to do in our day. And so we're going to do what everybody else would do. Eat. A lot of times we get anxious. We get hungry. Spiritually hungry. Maybe not physically so much, but spiritually.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it's like, just like your cigarette habit. All of a sudden, you're going to want to stuff your face with something. I don't know why. And then, of course, a lot of us can't afford, who don't have cars, especially those who don't have cars, especially those who live in the urban environment. There's junk food every mile. There's how many healthy food stores are there? There's not a lot of them in the urban environment that we can afford to go to. So, of course, we're going to eat junk food because that's the closest thing we can get, especially if we don't have a car.
Yep.
Now, I can legally drive a horse and carriage in Connecticut. Well, that's great, but I don't have a horse and I don't have a carriage and I don't have a place to store a horse and carriage. So what good is that going to do me?
Exactly.
Yeah. John Heyman says, Leah, are you a Republican? Well, I'm a Republican. I can tell you that. Leah Simpson says, I'm not arguing, John. You initiated this conversation and stated your opinion. I'm only stating mine. I guess according to you, a woman doesn't have the right to do that. Oh. Well, that's what she's saying in the chat here, and they're just having a private conversation.
Okay. I'm saying
that was her latest comment. They go back a little bit.
Moderate it.
Leah said, Charlotte says I have to get. Leah says, "Bye, Charlotte. Work calls. Unfortunately, I don't have a man like John to quote take care of me. Closing quote. So I do have to work and support myself. Poor me. Well, I don't have a family at all to support me, so I have to do it all too on my own. If it wasn't for my YouTube channel, like I said, I don't know what I would be doing right now. But I do not. I mean, I don't think the days of the American housewife is ever going to happen like it did back in the 1950s, 60s, or even the very early 70s. I think those days are long gone.
We struggle. We struggle a lot.
Even then, we struggled. It was just a different struggle.
Yep. We live paycheck to paycheck. I'm just very grateful that my husband gets paid.
Or
every
even
week.
all the way back to the 40s. You realize that the housewife back in the 40s had to basically grind their fingers to the bone to try to clean the house with kids and everything.
Yep.
I mean, don't forget, we didn't have the modern contrivances readily available, even like a dishwasher.
Yep.
Um,
Vacuums were new.
if you're lucky, if you had kids, they could all help with the dishes. You know,
Yeah.
That's what we had to do. We were
they had to do
our chores
responsibilities.
were dishes.
Yep.
In fact, if anything, in this generation of youngsters have no idea what it was like before the age of the computer, before the age of the internet,
Before dishwashers
Yes.
or even the microwave oven,
or
which
microwave.
didn't start
Yeah,
showing up into the 70s.
I remember when we first got a microwave. We were so amazed by it.
I do too. I thought, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Yeah, well, my mom got her first microwave back in 1983.
Yep. I was
Yeah.
13.
Now, my
I
mom
remember
kind of got
cooking-
used to using it a little bit. Me, I got a microwave I hardly ever use, except to heat something up. That's about the only time
I
I
need a new one. Mine's too little.
That's all you really can do with them. Back in the old days, you could cook full meals in them, but nowadays they just chew up too much energy. You can't.
Yeah, I mean they have them, but you're paying a good penny for them,
Yeah.
and
So I
then
just
they don't
use them-
last that long.
No, I just use them
Well,
to
they're
warm
cutting the
things up.
grass.
Well,
warm
my
things up, make
microwave
them
is
warm.
secondhand, and like I said, it's got a carousel on it. I mean, it's not really used much for what I do. I heat water in it once in a while for tea if I'm in a hurry.
Yep.
But most of the time, I cook everything on the stove. So
Yep. Me too.
the microwave kind of lost favor in a lot of households. A lot of people
Yep.
nowadays don't care about the microwave anymore.
I'll tell you what I love. I love and don't know how I lived without my goddamn pressure cooker. Oh,
Oh, I love my air fryer.
I haven't
That
tried
thing's
one of those yet.
amazing.
Is it
Air
really?
fryer is something I might be
Yes.
interested in if I was heavily into cooking food like fried foods. But usually, I don't even cook
Oh,
much.
jeez.
I don't like to eat fried
One
food
of those.
much because it's messy. I know air fryers are a little bit cleaner, but they're still. I know, like I said, people do like the air fryer. Like, I think that and the toaster oven replaced the microwave for most homes.
Yeah, I remember we had like one of everything. My dad, he had a good job. He was a lift truck mechanic,
Yeah.
so he was making like $40 an hour. So when he was actually, bringing in good money, my mom had redid the kitchen. She had a double oven, got a microwave, a good stove. I mean, we had everything back then,
Yeah.
and it just made things so much easier. But the new technology is just amazing. Like this air fryer, I was so afraid of it. I was
Dude,
like, how could you fry something with no oil?
I
You
know.
remember, just keep in mind what an air fryer is. It's really not that new with technology. You really realize
like a
it's just a
pressure
mini.
cooker.
It's new
It's
to
just
me.
It's just a mini
Yeah.
convection oven. It's really all it is. If you think about it, it's the same technology as in a convection oven.
That's
Well,
true,
it's
yeah, because he had
amazing.
lost his job, and then he lost everything.
Yeah.
My dad didn't save, so, but he had 5 kids to support too. So
Well,
my mom and dad
that's.
had savings. Luckily, when my
In
dad's
fact,
job
most
laid him off.
people today don't even have any savings in the bank at all. They're not even
No.
trying to save. That's one thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put money away.
yeah, that's what I'm
The-
trying to do for me and my kid.
And it's been a challenge. That's what I wanted to do with the stimulus was put it away because it's there. I mean, I could be like the grasshopper and go, "Oh, we're gonna party." Yeah, we're gonna party, and of course we feel like the ant, which of course that's the Virgo in me. Is like, yeah, but I think I really kind of want to save this, at least some of it, because
Yeah.
I got like 300 in my savings now. I could always throw in another $300. Pay off my credit card. I only have one left now. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing with my stimulus. I'm just paying off some medical bills, and
Yeah.
mainly I need to get a freaking car, but
Right.
I don't wanna.
Right,
I
John
don't want an
Higman. That's
extra
why I said
expense.
air fryer is really just a convection oven.
Okay.
It's a countertop convection oven.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about getting one of those countertop dishwashers, the ones that have the tank on the back with the water in it. So you put the water in and it heats the water, washes the dishes. I thought that would be kind of nice. Optional, not really required. I don't usually make that many dirty dishes, but be kind of nice for like if I have a party come in. Remember, I got the new dishes now, right? Yeah, in case everyone, because I want eventually I want to be able to entertain people once in a while, and then of course comes with that comes now my house needs a whole new makeover. We need a whole new china closet. We need a list. We need a new kitchen redo. And then we start thinking, and so he starts out with a simple thing, and next thing you know, it leads to another thing, and then another thing, and then another thing. But before we start basically renovating this kitchen, which I don't even own, I have might as well saving money for a down payment and buy a house that I do own. So, because the floor in this kitchen is shot, it's got to be redone. Yeah, it's. I can get some brand new Congolian peel and stick tiles and replace the ones on the floor now, but it's not the point. And the thing is I don't own this building. I have no equity in it. I lived here for 17 years. When you add up how much money I've actually paid, I could have had a mortgage I could have had my house paid off by now.
Yep.
You know,
That's the only bad thing about renting.
no equity.
No equity. Well, and we moved into this place and it's got all this counter space. It's got a walk-in pantry. It's a walk-in pantry. It's gorgeous. I
Yeah,
love
so
it.
it's mine.
There's
So it's mine. That's where my
plenty-
phone switch is. That's where my internet is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
plenty of
Michelle's
room
walk-in
for-
pantry has a window. I've never seen that before.
Wow. Mine could.
Well,
Mine's
my
good. It's
my
good.
pantry used to have gas lights in it too. So
But it doesn't have
Oh,
a
did it?
dishwasher.
Wow,
And I
that's
said,
an
"Why?"
old place.
I said, why don't you just put a dishwasher in? There's plenty of space for it. And he says, we're not going to put a dishwasher in here. You guys want one? You can get a rollaway dishwasher. So I went and looked them up. The rollaway dishwashers are more expensive than the built-in dishwashers.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
told my husband,
Well,
"What's the
even
built-in?
even the
Take
countertop
it with
dishwasher I
us."
was looking at was like $250 brand new. But if you really want to get a rollaway dishwasher, just go buy an older 1970s KitchenAid
Yeah.
Hobart.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to buy brand new, and they still can
No.
get parts for those old, those old Hobart KitchenAids.
We're gonna go to a secondhand furniture store and buy a refurbished built-in and put it in and take it with us when we go.
Yeah. Well, you can just buy a portable because that way you don't have to worry about basically ripping things out of cabinets. You know, once you
Portables are good
permanently
option.
attach something to a apartment you don't own, guess what? It becomes the landlord's,
Yeah. Not unless we take it with us.
and you can't. Technically, you can't because it's his now. So,
Yeah, but he won't know.
Yeah, he won't know.
well, I'm sure he knows.
You could
My
just say,
husband-
well, it broke down. We took it out and we never replaced it.
My husband would take it out and put it back in just like they didn't even know.
Or
it
you
was
can always replace it with a piece of crap.
there. There you go. Take a good one and leave a broken one.
See, Mr. Landlord, I'm sorry I put a dishwasher in, but I'm taking it out, but I'll give you another dishwasher in its place, even though it's a cheap, low water saving piece of garbage. I'm sure the landlord, if he wanted to go with a dishwasher, he would probably already done that anyway.
Yep. Well, he's actually a really nice landlord. I shouldn't give him shit.
Right,
My
I
husband-
understand that, but I'm like I said, some landlords, unfortunately, my landlord is you know
Older.
he's money hungry. He's an Aries.
Oh.
He's money hungry. I never, and unfortunately has a temper, so he's
Oh.
not really like the easiest guy to work with.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I don't want to piss him off or anything, but at least a portable dishwasher, even if it kind of rolls around, or even a countertop one, at least he can't go, I told you, no washing machines, no dishwashers. He never
Oh.
complained about my Wonder Washer. And I asked him, what's the difference? He said it's not connected to my pipes permanently, so it doesn't leak. I busted out laughing. Oh, yes, it does. The seal on the bottom has been known to go bad a few times. Oh, yes, it leaks. Yeah, but you don't flood my apartment out. Oh, that's true. Unless the bucket happens to fall off the top of the pedestal, which is extremely rare.
Yeah.
Given the fact the way it's made, it's not exactly impossible. You know, I don't think you really want to hold 2 gallons of water laying all over your floor, do you?
No. No, I
So-
would agree with that.
Like I said, that's probably about the only minor convenience I really have is my little Wonder Washer for my laundry. But the dishwasher would be nice. I don't dismiss that, but the fact is they take so long. The kind of dishwashers I like is I like the commercial ones we used to work with at Friendly's, the Hobart AH14s or AM14s. You know, you put the
Mhm.
rack in, close the door, and they listen 30 seconds later, it's done.
Yeah.
put them back in the shelves, you know. Of course, the only thing is with that is the 2 things. One, they need 240 volts, and they tend to be kind of clunky because when you start them up, the first thing it's going to do is preheat the water for the rinse cycle,
Yeah.
and then you have usually a booster heater for the wash water or for the final rinse water, bring it up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So you got to deal with a big secondary water heater on top of the built-in preheat, and then so your electric meter is going to spin like a top when it first starts up. You know, and if you're only washing like 1 or 2 racks of dishes, it's probably more. It's probably just cheaper to wash them by hand.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just thinking when you started talking about the power meter. I went, yeah, that's true. I probably save a lot of money doing it by hand.
Even the countertop dishwasher, the one I was looking at, preheats the water to 180, and yeah, it runs 1,800 or 1,500 watts. You know, because that's all American outlets really can handle 1,500 to 1,800 surge. So you're dealing with an apartment that's only got a 20 amp fuse for all the 120 volt outlets, and it's like it means if I turn that sucker on, I have to turn the computer off. This computer has a power supply that's 950 watts capacity. As I said, capacity, not that it's actually
my
using
goodness.
950 watts.
I had to mute. I thought they were mowing the grass. They weren't. They were blowing leaves.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
right by my
that's
windows.
loud. Yeah. Thank you for muting that.
Yeah.
My cat's eyes were like, "What is that?"
Yeah. The other day
So
I saw my cat and his eyes looked funny. I thought, what is wrong with you? What's going? Did you get into catnip?
what do you mean
And then
Nightbot's going ham? Nightbot's just doing its job. It's sending out the messages every 30 minutes. So basically it's gotta post sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Connecticut have commodities for disabled communities that you can go to? There is housing projects for disabled people, but they're not necessarily in my area. And I don't really want to necessarily be in this community to involve everybody with the same goddamn disability.
Yeah. That's true.
Because they will all be bitching about the same thing. Did you hear that they didn't deliver my Braille paper because they said that they were out of Braille paper printing? They told me to turn on Chris so I can listen to the news. Nah, I know what. Or you get some people who are saying, "Oh, gee, did you know about this entitlement program?" And of course, they're totally blind, and I'm not. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'd rather be more mainstreamed anyway. I think that's been more beneficial for people because now they get a chance to know a little. The mainstream people have a lot of lack of knowledge of what it's like to be legally blind, registered blind. If they knew, I think they would be surprised. But the thing is, so many of those people in those communities, they feel like, oh, just have another ding dong. I have nothing to do. Oh, I'll go home and I'll watch Lifetime TV. Maybe I'll go ahead and take a good poop from myself. Maybe I'll smoke a few more cigarettes. And it's like, why don't you go do something when you leave? What's the point? What's the point? I can empathize with them, but jeez, please, let's do something better than that. What's the point? That's what they say. Is I work more, they're going to take away my subsidy, and then they give excuses not to work. Whereas,
Yeah.
you ask some people about YouTube, and they're like, "Why bother? Don't you ever want to do anything? No, I'm out of here. You don't want to do anything." You just want to sit
Hey,
there.
Charlotte.
Well, part of
Sure,
the problem is, yes, sirs,
Hi,
is the
Charlotte.
Hey,
system
Charlotte.
itself is not encouraging people to want to better themselves either. Because they saying is, well, look, you're getting subsidized rent, you're getting subsidized electricity, you're getting subsidized food. Why do you have to work? First of all, maybe people want to work instead. Stop punishing us if we're trying to get ahead in our lives, okay? That's the problem is that's what some of these system people don't understand.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm gonna have all this stuff that's for free or reduced price. It's because we want a reason to get up every morning.
True.
I mean, let's be honest. If there are people, like I said, that will not try anything, they just won't. They just don't want to, or the system's so punitive that they can't. Um, that's why recently I don't trust subsidized housing. I don't want to get into that trap. I was already in that trap. And I
What do you
said,
mean you don't trust it?
yeah, I don't trust it. Definitely, I don't trust it.
But why? What do you want?
Because the politicians don't even have any common sense of what really goes on in non-housing projects.
Oh, okay. So, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So they think this because you're living subsidized housing that you're doing great and but yet at the same time you're breaking the poor person's will to become self-sufficient. And that's why the people remain in this program from cradle to grave. It's not the solution. It's sure it's okay for a temporary thing, but the minute you try to become self-sufficient, then they're not so more very welcoming anymore. And then it's like, oh, did you see you're bringing in some 1099 income now? Oh, we need all your receipts from all your customers, and we need to have your completed tax return, your 1040, and then we have to go ahead and do a rent adjustment, and then like it's a month. It varies month to month. Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. It varies month to month, lady. You see, we have to make your determination now for your rent for the whole year. So if you happen to have a bump of crap 1 year, your rent's going to go down a lot. Your share is going to go up a lot, and then you're going to be stuck. And then even if the next year you earn nothing at all, then you're going to be paying more rent. Ugh. See, that's why I won't do it because I did it. I went through it. It's not worth it. They shouldn't be punitive like that. It should be they should be a little more positive. Like, okay, great. So you're making some 1099 income now. Well, that's wonderful. However, unfortunately, we're going to give you a couple of months to see if the income's working out for you, and then we'll have to adjust. But we're glad that you're trying to become self-sufficient. And if you want us to remain on the program, that's fine. We'll give you self-sufficiency star, but your rent will eventually have to go up. Maybe we can come up with a better, fairer way to not make the people who are trying to become self-sufficient like villains. But the system doesn't understand that because the system is totally warped.
Well, there's also a lot of scammers
Oh yeah,
that
there's a
screw
lot of
everything up for
scammers.
people.
But there's scammers on the system, and then there are scammers at the system. So you got scammers on both sides. So
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying is that's the ones that really mess it up for people.
yeah. I mean, but since I just get Social Security disability, I get food stamps. That's it. I pay full rent. I pay full utilities. Okay, I pay for everything out of my pocket.
Yep.
There's no subsidies, so no one can come yell at me and go, "Hey, you know what? You're making more money than you should. I'm going to report you." What? Why? I'm already, I'm not even collecting on the system. And I already reported the fact is I already have it. I'm working on making my YouTube channel into a 1099, so they already know that. But my rent went down from 900 to 800, but they didn't even adjust, even though they had the letter from my landlord about the rent change. So who's guilty here of breaking the rules? If like the food stamps, I kind of seriously wonder why they didn't change the rules. I see someone's cat's walking around or someone's dog there.
No, that was my Suzuki.
Okay. Yeah. It's a trap. Yeah, it's exactly. And it's the public attitude that's even worse,
Don't
I
go away,
think.
Suzuki. Say hi. Knucklehead, there's Suzuki's butt for
That's a boy
Rusty.
cat or a girl cat?
He's a boy. He's a boy.
Okay. I can see he's got a wide tail on him like Rusty on his base there, and his tail, his base is kind of wide like Rusty's is.
Yeah, he's a big alpha like Rusty. He's just not quite as big as Rusty because his mom is tiny. She's kitten size still.
Yeah.
Dad was a 30-pound cat. Mom is a 4
wow.
I had
Yeah,
a cat.
That poor mama cat.
Yeah, you should have seen her when she was pregnant. I thought she was going to explode. She's huge. And then the kittens were so big, they came out breech sometimes.
Aw.
I
know,
swear cats are getting as big as small dogs now. At least some are.
Yep.
Well,
It was a
Michelle and
30-pound
Monica,
cat.
I gotta jump off because my phone's about to die.
All
Yeah,
right.
So
me
I'll
too.
catch you guys tonight on the Tonight
Yep.
Show.
All
And
right. So I'll
see you
just
later,
wrap.
John, and who's left in the
I'll just
chat.
wrap this show up here, and I'll see
Yeah.
you tonight then. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Hey,
So let me just wrap the
Have
show
a
up,
good night.
and let's get into the conclusion for the day.
Yep.
Some people know
I'm going
what's
to go to
going
the
on.
cat.
All right. See you in a little. See you tonight at 7. Okay. So basically, like I said, Social Security entitlements, not just Social Security, but on the state level, is there's a lot of misunderstandings about people on fixed income and bad trends. Of course, like I said, there are people who scam the system, and there's some systems that scam the people. So it's kind of both ways. But it's the lack of understanding by the majority of the people who are not involved in the system whatsoever is where I think my channel has the ability to help demystify some things for people. First thing is that is sort of true, but isn't sort of not true. That some people in the system don't care to work. That's true. There are some people that don't. But then there are some people like myself that do, but the system is designed in such a way that it keeps you stuck in that trap, and then you don't really have the dream of motivating yourself. Or if you want to do it on your own, it's basically an all or nothing proposition, which means you're going to have to forget any kind of subsidies, any kind of assistance, because the minute you start getting on that treadmill is just destructive 100%. People do not do well in that system. So that's something to think about, guys. If you want to know more about the entitlement mentality, you really should look on YouTube videos on it. If you can watch them, some of them are really, really. I've covered it from a disabled person's point of view in my early years on my channel. If you want to go back to the year 2011, 2012 playlists, I think it was number 2013 one, but go back to the 2011 playlist where I talked about this, the early years. If you have no knowledge of it, you will be surprised that what I said then is still true today. Yeah, he seems pretty chill, but by nature, cats don't like to be in a moving things. Right, exactly. Right. No, they don't. They like to be the movers. They don't like to be in moving vehicles. They like to be the moving vehicle. They like to move on their own. All cats are like that. I don't blame them because they can get car sick really easy. So, all right, guys. For now, I'm gonna get going. I still gotta go pay the utility bills, and things like that. So look at the 2011 playlist on my playlists. If you want to check out my earlier, check out the 2011, 2012, 2013. I don't think there was actually a 2013 playlist. So you might just have to go through all those videos. Just be easy. Just go through the playlists. Be surprised what you learn. All right, guys. See you tonight at 7. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.